And good afternoon across the Eastern Panhandle or wherever you may be tuning in. Welcome into Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV10. I'm Matt Crawford. Next to me is Matt Miller running our TV10 camera for today's game is John Alderton. Back at the studio is Caleb Falero. It's the Notre Dame Falcons in town taking on the Shepherd Rams at Fairfax Field for a doubleheader this afternoon, a couple of seven-inning games. Matt, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. A beautiful afternoon for baseball outside of the fact that we're seeing winds at 25 and some gust up to 40 miles an hour. John just gave me the thumbs up on that as he's trying to keep the camera steady out on the bleachers to get our best shot in the wind.
Well, you have a game of two teams when you look at the Northern Division of the Mountain East Conference are right next to each other at first and second, but not necessarily right next to each other when it comes to overall wins and losses within the Mountain East Conference.
No, not at all. And you're talking about one team in the Shepherd Rams that has been very consistent and consistently good this season. 29 wins, 11 losses coming in, 19-3 to lead the North Division here in this Mountain East Conference. On the other side, the Notre Dame Falcons, while they're second in the North right behind Shepherd, just 19-23 overall. They're 13-11 in conference play, and they've had some stretches where they've shown they can compete with anybody. They've also had some times, though, where they haven't been able to compete well at all.
Well, this is Mountain East Conference baseball, so you would expect this is going to be a slug 'em out 11-10 final score. The wind blowing in at Fairfax Field today, so if you want to hit a home run out of the park today, which on a Saturday afternoon in late April, you expect to see 5 or 6 home runs, maybe more throughout a baseball game, but the wind blowing in from center field as we look at the American flag outside of the center field fence right now, so these two teams probably going to have to play a little bit of small ball here today.
Well, and it's certainly something that helps out this Notre Dame team while hurting the Shepherd team more, and the reason is Notre Dame's just not a power-hitting type of team. They've hit 7 home runs so far this season, while for Shepherd, how about 60 home runs on the year? And talking with head coach Matt McCarty before the game about the beautiful day, but then that wind blowing, I was speaking about the dimensions here at this ballpark. It's 310 down the lines, 355 into the alleys, 385 to straightaway center, and of course center field with that rock underneath has that slight rise to it. So he said it plays a little bit bigger, although the ball carries well in the alleys. And then he paused and said, but maybe not today because of the way that wind is blowing.
Our pitching matchup today will feature Tyler Galt for the visiting Notre Dame Falcons taking on Mitchell Wilson. Both of these guys, some experience on the mound this year so far. The 9th start of the year for Galt, and for Wilson, it's start number 11. Both have a above 3 ERA. For Galt, it's a 3.45, and looking at the ERA for Mitchell Wilson, above 4, he's at a 4.79. But Mitchell Wilson comes in with a 3-1 record overall, so he's gotten wins. And when it comes to Galt, he's 5-4, so hasn't had the luck necessarily in games that he hasn't allowed a lot of runs.
Well, and you look at this Mountain East Conference, and it is known for a conference that pounds the baseball. I mean, you think of West Virginia State and Concord and UVA Wise in the South. You think of Shepherd. You think of Fairmont State and this Notre Dame team even, and how they can hit the baseball in the North. And it's not surprising when you look at some of the ERAs for the pitchers who, frankly, are pretty good pitchers, but they face some very good hitting in this conference.
One thing when you look at Tyler Galt is he's got the 3.45 ERA, so the earned run average isn't necessarily going to make you raise your eyebrows. 41 strikeouts on the year, so not bad for this point in the year for a very hard-hitting conference in the Mountain East, but 31 walks. So he has allowed a lot of free base runners.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is certainly something that, he has to be concerned about, because when you face a Shepherd team that hits as well as they do, the Rams with a 345 team batting average and have driven in 338 runs, you don't want to give them base runners because they tend to find a way to score them.
Mitchell Wilson, 44 strikeouts and 10 less walks, only at 21. That's a little bit more of a respectable number at this point in the season.
Well, and that's it. What you want to do is try to keep guys off base. You're going to potentially have a miscue behind you defensively. That miscue doesn't hurt as much if you're not putting guys on base. That 2-out base hit with nobody on doesn't hurt you, where that base on balls, a steal, a pass ball, an error, something else happens, you give up one hit in an inning, and ultimately you end up giving up a run, and that's the thing that both of these teams want to avoid today.
Final prep here at Fairfax Field. They're watering the infield. The game base is about to go in place on our umpires making their way towards home plate. We'll have the starting lineups for you next. First pitch coming right around 1 p.m. for the doubleheader here in Shepherdstown. Again, we'll be back in 1 minute. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
Welcome back into Fairfax Field. It's time to take a look at the starting lineups. First, let's go with the visiting Notre Dame Falcons. They come in at 19-23, 13-11 in the Mountain East Conference. They are led by eighth-year head coach Len Barker. And Matt, he's got some experience not only at the college level but also at the professional level.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked at that name and thought that looks so familiar in the face as well, and that's because he spent 11 years playing big league baseball with 4 different teams, including when I was a youngster in the 70s, the Texas Rangers, the team that I began to follow as a kid, and in fact is in the record books while with the Cleveland Indians. He threw the major's 10th perfect game back on May the 15th of 1981, a 3-0 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays. So he's got some great experience.
His lineup today looks like this. It'll be Mitchell Wilson on the mound, we already mentioned. Batting first, playing shortstop, is Zach Santoro. Second, playing second base, is Corey Miley. The DH for today's starting pitcher is Joe Pascal. He will wear the number 20 batting in the third spot. The cleanup hitter is center fielder number 15, Rick Phillips. First baseman number 28, Nick Farrell, will bat fifth in the lineup. In the bottom half of the order, it's Adam Purdy playing left field, the number 6 spot. Lucas Thompson will bat seventh. He's playing right field today. Najee Garcia is going to play the hot corner at third base. He is batting eighth, and Matt Richards is going to play behind the plate. He is rounding out the lineup in that number 9 spot. On the other side, the home Shepherd University Rams, led by former player, and what is this now, the 6th or 7th year for head coach Matt McCarty?
Well, they call it officially 7th, but remember, he was head coach on an interim basis for a year before that, so technically has led this program for 8 years and has done a fantastic job when you consider from 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18. That is consecutive years of 30-plus victories. In fact, 33, the fewest, and a win here today would get them to that 30-win plateau one more time. Coach McCarty, here as a player, knew about winning championships, and he's doing it again as a head coach.
The Rams come in at 29-11, 19-3 in the Mountain East Conference. Their lineup looks like this. Playing right field, leading off is Jared Carr. Playing center field, the basically player of the year so far when you look at week by week. Mountain East Players of the Week is going to be Brenton Doyle. He wears the number 22. Batting third is Justin Smith. He'll play left field today. At first base in the cleanup spot is Eddie Nottingham. Playing the hot corner is Saeed Mahdi. He wears number 8. The DH for today's starting pitcher will be Daniel Kerr. Christian Hamill will be today's catcher. He bats in the number 7 spot. The number 8 spot is Giovanni Torres. He will play second base, and rounding it out will be Trenton Berggreen, playing shortstop today for the Shepherd University Rams. All right, Matt, what jumps out at you off the get-go when you look at these lineups top to bottom?
Well, you look at the power in this lineup for Shepherd and the way that they have hit the baseball. You look at their team batting average at .345, but going up against a pretty good pitching staff, a staff that has an ERA of 5.12. And again, you go, man, that's high. But you talk about a hitting conference like this Mountain East, and maybe not as high as you would think. And in fact, when we talked with Matt McCarty just yesterday, he commented about how this staff for Notre Dame has been able to pitch well and give them opportunities to win. So I'll be anxious to see, how the bats are swinging today and how the wind affects the ball.
a two-man umpiring crew here today. We know one is Troy Barrett. He was in the studio yesterday for our Miller Time program, talking some American Legion baseball. First and third base in, second base still sitting right around second base. And we'll go out and put that in for playing conditions, digging out some dirt after the infield treatment. The starting lineup being introduced here in a minute. Roger Haymood, the PA announcer here at Fairfax Field. The field's got a few upgrades since the last time I was here. The windscreen, I believe, is newer. And I don't know what you would call that behind home plate. The Rams in gold in the blue tarp that wraps around from the first base line to the third base line or vice versa. What would you consider that?
That is, it's a turf surface, if you will, that wraps around, as you're saying, behind home plate with Rams written in it in that gold, and it is blue, and just makes for a nice look to that backstop, and I'm sure probably helps to take care of an area where it may have been a little tough to keep the grass growing with the action and the things that go on behind home plate and where it's located as far as getting the sun and that sort of thing.
Again, the wind blowing in from center field here today, going to make it hard to hit them out, which is Mountain East Conference and Shepherd Rams style baseball. So we'll see how that impacts today's scoring. Again, the Rams are coming in looking for win number 30 on the season and win number 20 in the Mountain East Conference. Their second to last opponent of this regular season, their last regular season in the Mountain East Conference. They will play Fairmont State for 2 more series, but they're doing kind of a home and home type thing to end the series.
Well, it's fun to me because they're so close together. They can do that type of a series where they'll play 2 there on a Friday, take Saturday off for travel, so to speak, and then come back here and play next Sunday against Fairmont State. But then you look at the schedules overall and you think of, Notre Dame coming out of South Euclid, Ohio, and rather than making one trip out there where you might play 2 against Urbana and then 2 against Notre Dame, the league has determined the best way they want to handle it is to actually go play a 4-game set at one place and have the other come here. So this year, Shepherd went out to Urbana, Ohio back on the 6th and 7th of April and took 3 out of 4, and now here we are in late April, and Notre Dame makes that trip from Ohio here to the Eastern Panhandle to play 4 against the Rams.
I got to say I'm a fan of that. I think it's a lot better when you look at the student-athlete part and the student part of the student-athlete. It just makes less time away. You're gone for a longer period of time at one particular time, but through the course of the season, I like how you're not making 2 separate trips to Ohio.
Well, and I think it gives you a chance to deal a little better with weather because you're going to be at the same place through that entire weekend as opposed to maybe having some washed out at one place, then going to another and having to figure out getting back again or how that may work. I'm with you. I like that 4-game series and get them done, a couple of doubleheaders on a Saturday and a Sunday, and then, head back home and get ready for that midweek game before getting back into conference play the next weekend.
All right, we're going to pause here. Let's take a 1.5-minute break while we play the national anthem. Then we'll be back for the start of the first game of today's doubleheader. It's Shepherd welcoming Notre Dame. You're watching Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
Welcome back into Fairfax Field. Starting pitcher for Shepherd, Mitchell Wilson, getting ready to get his warm-up. Tosses in. Behind the plate, it'll be Christian Hamill. Hamill looking for a full season this year. A guy that's got tremendous upside, but just over his course, or his career with the Shepherd University Rams, has just continually battled injury.
Well, and as you say, when he's healthy and able to be out there, he certainly is a weapon, not only behind the plate and the way that he can handle the staff, but when he's at the dish with bat in hand, a .314 average with 4 homers and 35 driven in.
Again, the defense behind Wilson at third base, it's Saeed Mahdi. Shortstop, Trenton Bergreen. Second base, Giovanni Torres. Eddie Nottingham will play first base. Right field is Jared Carr. Center field is Bretton Doyle. And in left field is Justin Smith. Zach Santoro will lead it off for Notre Dame on a beautiful day, as you said when we started the broadcast, but just a lot of wind to deal with, but not a cloud in the sky, and in the mid-60s. You can't ask for much better weather-wise in this area for late April baseball.
No, not at all. It'll be a little chilly overnight at 48, and then as these two teams will wrap up this series tomorrow, it actually looks pretty good. I wonder if they'll tarp things up after this one, as we expect clouds and a little bit of shower activity overnight, even a few AM showers tomorrow, but otherwise cloudy and 65 tomorrow. And then on Monday, partly sunny and another beautiful day at 64 degrees.
Again, just looking at so far this year for Mitchell Wilson, a 4.79 ERA, a 6-1 record, start number 11 for him. Has given up 13 hits, 7 runs. All 7 have gone to him. Or make that 35. Looking at the wrong column here. 67 hits, 35 runs. 30 of them are his. 21 walks, 244 strikeouts. As Santoro steps in and takes ball 1 high. First pitch for today's game comes at 1:08, so about 8 minutes after the scheduled first pitch. Again, the second game of the doubleheader is expected to go right around 3:30. Swing and a miss on the 1-0 count, now even at 1-1 to Santoro.
A good off-speed pitch there, had Santoro out in front.
Working quickly, here's Wilson, that 1-1, and a foul ball down the right field line and out of play into the parking lot at Miller Hall, as John Alderton gives us the thumbs up that his car was not hit. Gambling over there today, anybody who's been to Shepherd knows that is foul ball heaven. Ready with the 1-2. That ball low and away. The count now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, went back to the fastball, tried to work that outside edge, but missed it down low. Santoro, .316 the average, 2 homers, 27 driven in.
The 2-2 bounce right back up the middle. That's going to be into center field for a single. Bergreen couldn't get to it, coming to his left. And that's a leadoff single for Santoro on the 2-2. He drives right back up the middle, and the leadoff batter on for the Falcons.
Yeah, collects his 49th hit on the season and now 153 at-bats, and puts himself on for Corey Miley.
Miley coming into today's game a .297 hitter. 19 hits in 64 at-bats. Has driven in 12. No home runs. Off at second is Santoro, hit back up the middle. Bergreen has it. Fumbles with it a little bit, but does get it over to first. So that'll go down as a fielder's choice as Eddie Nottingham brings it in over at first base for the first out of the inning.
Well, the out recorded 6-3. Nice play by Bergreen. He had to slide to kind of smother that baseball. You know, he wanted to get that lead runner, but with Santoro in motion with contact, it nullified the chance to get the lead runner at second.
So good job just keeping it in front of him was Bergreen. Steps up Joe Pascal. So he looks in, a swing, and that ball is lifted into right field. That's going to drop over the head of Giovanni Torres. Moving to third is Santero, and in at first is Joe Pascal. So runners now at the corners with just 1 out, and Notre Dame coming out swinging.
Yeah, not taking a lot of pitches. I mean, for Santoro, it was a 2-2 count when he grounded up the middle, but then Miley went after the first pitch, grounded it up the middle, ended up being retired by the shortstop Bergreen, and now Pascal goes after the first pitch and sends it out into shallow right.
Pascal, a 362 hitter. That now brings up Rick Phillips.
Santoro had to wait and make sure that Torres could not get back to it, so did not get a chance to score, leaving runners at the corners.
First pitch to Phillips, low and away for ball one. You expect now Mitchell going to be a little cautious and try to work around the edges. Phillips coming in a 316 hitter. 43 hits and 136 plate appearances. He has driven in 15 on the season as he takes strike one on the inside corner.
Yeah, good pitch, working a little up, but finding that inside part of the plate. Phillips thought it would be inside, but it broke across that inside corner.
Phillips a 404 on-base percentage with 19 walks. To go along with that 316 batting average, the 1-1 low and in the dirt, a good block by Christian Hamill. Now Phillips ahead in the count, 2-1.
You know, working that outside edge, hoping that if he didn't catch the corner, might get Phillips to swing, but that one broke down into the dirt.
Santoro at third base. Pascal standing at first. Not a big lead by Pascal at first, as the 2-1 fouled off down the right field line and out of play as well. So the count now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Crowd starting to file in a little bit more. Not a packed house here at Fairfax Field, but the seats right in front of the press box where we're at starting to fill up on what is a nice but windy day. The 2-2 misses low in the dirt, gets away from Hamill. Moving to second base will be Pascal, but Santoro will have to stay at third base. But now 2 runners in scoring position with just a 1 down here in the top of inning number 1.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a wild pitch down in the dirt. Hamill thought he had knocked it down and then turned around and realized that it had gotten through the legs and gone in towards the old stone backstop. Santoro had to hold, but Pascal able to move up.
Wilson now gets ready to deliver the 3-2. That's a chopper to the left side coming in on his Bergreen, and it kicks off the heel of his glove. 1 run's going to score. That is Santoro from third base. Moving to third is Joe Pascal, and reaching on what is going to be a tough play for Bergreen to make, but I think he got to put it down as an error. Reaching first is Rick Phillips.
Well, it does go down as an error, and it does allow the batter to reach, does bring home a run, and the Falcons able to strike first.
So runners on the corners now. 1 down here in the top of inning number 1. Notre Dame with the 1-0 lead. A first pitch into Nick Farrell. Just a bit inside for ball 1.
And you mentioned a very tough play for Bergreen as that took that really high chop. He had no chance to get to it on the big hop, but was caught in no man's land where he had to try to backhand on that short hop and just couldn't cleanly play it.
That 1-0 in for strike 1 at the knees. Phillips not a overly big lead at first base.
Matt, the good news for Shepard, that ball carried from Bergreen right to the third baseman Motti, and that kept the second run from scoring, and now you could still get that double play ground ball and get out of the inning.
The 1-1 lifted into center field. Brenton Doyle going back, and he makes the catch, but that is going to score a run. Pascal is going to come in from third base and give Notre Dame a 2-0 lead, but a great job by Brenton Doyle in center field. The wind probably helping him out a little bit there, keeping that ball from going any further as he was almost up on that slope in center field.
I did not think that the ball was going to carry nearly that far when it came off the bat, but Doyle stayed with it, and yeah, definitely deep enough for Farrell to pick up his 17th run batted in on the season on that sac fly.
Phillips went about halfway, but had to retreat back to first base, which is where he stands now as Adam Purdy now stands in and dribbles one back to the pitcher. Wilson up with it. He'll fire over to first. Nottingham with it for the third out of the inning. So on 1 pitch, Purdy grounds out to the pitcher. Over to Nottingham for out number 3. We will head to the bottom of inning number 2. When we come back, Notre Dame played at a pair in the top of the first. They lead 2-0.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your four-state roofing solution, reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
2-0 as we head to the bottom of inning number 1. Notre Dame played it a pair on some small ball. It was a single leading it off for Zach Santoro. Grounding into a fielder's choice and moving Santoro to second base was Corey Miley. Then a single by Joe Pascal. An error by Rick Phillips would score 1 run. And then a fly out to center field by Nick Farrell would score Pascal. Purdy would ground out to end the inning, but 2 runs do come across for Notre Dame as we head to the bottom of inning number 1. Some news out of the NFL draft, apparently. Local prospect, or local product. Trayvon Wesco out of Musselman High School was just picked up by the New York Jets. So a guy that had a good career at West Virginia, but the numbers may not have showed just because the lack of use of a tight end in West Virginia's offense. But he has got a whole lot of upside if you ask a lot of NFL GMs and scouts, and now he is going to New York to play for the Jets.
Well, they really started to incorporate that tight end in this past year, his senior year, and he showed what he can do. He's got tremendous size at 270 as a tight end, a pretty good mobility and very good hands. So hopefully it works out well for him and for the Jets.
Tyler Galt on the mound for Notre Dame. Jared Carr set to lead it off for Shepherd. The left-hander in that leadoff spot. Takes strike 1 on the outside edge. Carr, a .419 hitter on the season. Here comes Galt for that 0-1, and now a sharp hit ball to the right side. That's going to get by a outstretched arm of Corey Miley into right field. So Jared Carr, similar to what Notre Dame did in the top of the first with Santero, Carr, and now the leadoff batter for Shepherd, reaches first base to lead off their part of the inning.
Tell you, that one got by Miley quicker than I anticipated, and I think maybe he did as well, as it seemed to come out off the end of the bat just a little bit, but Carr muscled it right past him on that hop as he was reaching for it.
Brings up Brenton Doyle on a quick snap throw back down to first. Jared Carr back in safely. A called strike at the plate, so Doyle behind on the count 0-1. Brenton Doyle comes in, a .400 hitter. That is 58 hits and 145 at-bats as he lifts this one in to right center field. Going back on it is Lucas Thompson as the wind got that one right at the end as Thompson overran it to the left, came back to the right, or make that his right, our left, to make the catch. Good job in right field by Thompson.
Yeah, Phillips, the center fielder, was ranging over, and Thompson was there, said he had it, and as you said, ultimately had to go back to his left. I wondered if we may end up with that wind-aided extra base hit, but it just wasn't the luck for Doyle.
One down here in the bottom of inning number 1. Carr retreated back to first base where he gets his lead now. On pitch high and outside to Justin Smith for ball 1. Justin Smith on the season, a .366 average. It's 48 hits and 131 at-bats. A .476 on-base percentage as the 1-0 again misses outside for ball 2.
You mentioned 31 walks in 57 in the third innings for Tyler Galt coming in. So if the Rams are patient, the possibility is there to get some free base runners.
Galt ready for the 2-0. Smith, a hearty cut as it is driven down the right field line, working into foul territory, and that one is going to get out of play behind the right field wall, but in foul territory for strike 1.
Yeah, that had home run distance to it, but ended up as a deep foul ball. And Smith, with the 10 home runs, leads this team, so you know the type of power he's got.
Yeah, 10 home runs, has driven in 51. So not bad numbers for a team at this point in the season. Moving to second is Jared Carr, and he is going to be in safe as that ball gets into center field. He's going to take third with ease. So a high throw from catcher Matt Richards. Santoro leaped to try to get that baseball, but it got into center field.
So a stolen base for Carr. He'll then take a third on the throwing error that will go against the catcher. Shepard now has a run just 90 feet away.
Was a ball at the plate, so the count now 3-1 to Justin Smith. Standing just 90 feet away is Jared Carr. Here comes that 3-1 on a ball that misses inside, ball 4.
Well, that's stolen base, by the way. Number 13 in 14 attempts for Jared Carr. And when you look at the season totals, Matt McCarty likes to put guys in motion and put pressure on a defense. That's now 54 steals in 63 attempts on the year. Compare that to their opponents, who are 32 of 37, and they're basically doubling up the amount of steal attempts as what their opponents are trying against them.
Cleanup hitter Eddie Nottingham steps in. A swing and a miss on the first pitch he sees for strike 1. A good breaking ball. That just had Nottingham out in front.
Nottingham right now the reigning Mountain East Conference Player of the Week.
Set for that 0-1 is Galt. Here it is, lifted out of play behind the press box. Onto the street behind Fairfax Field. A count now, no balls, 2 strikes to today's starting first baseman for Shepard.
6 different times this season, the Rams have had a player named as the Mountain East Conference Player of the Week. Nottingham has done it once. Doyle has done it 3 times. Saeed Mahdi and Jared Carr have also received that honor.
Here comes that 0-2, a breaking ball, swing and a miss by Nottingham for out number 2. A couple of good breaking balls thrown by Galt in that at-bat, and Nottingham out in front of both of them.
Yeah, you got to give credit there. Galt's made the pitches to collect his 42nd strikeout on the season, and that is a huge out.
It'll bring up Saeed Mahdi, today's third baseman, batting 5th in the lineup. Runners at the corners. At third base is Jared Carr. Justin Smith reaching on an error is at first. First and third defense signals being shown by catcher Matt Richards, as he will go back and squat down behind home plate. Nick Farrell holds on. Justin Smith at first base as Galt comes ready for the first pitch to Mahdi. Mahdi, a swing and a miss and back down to first, but back in safely is Justin Smith, but not by much. An awkward slide back into first base.
Yeah, really not much of a slide at all. Just got that leg in right before Nick Farrell could try to apply a tag, and Farrell straddling that bag the way that he was, doing his best to try to block Smith from getting back.
The 0-1 to Saeed Mahdi, low and away. A check down to second, and that one's going to get away. But a great stab by Corey Miley, keeping them from going into center field, but with the wide throw that is going to score. Jared Carr from third base for the first run of the game for the Rams.
So you get that pitch down in the dirt. Richards did a nice job to block it, but then Smith breaking for second, and for Richards, felt like he had a chance to get that last out at second base, but with that wide throw, pretty easy decision for Carr to break for the plate.
1-1 the count to Saeed Mahdi. That pitch up and in. And see, flinches at the last second, but never really made an attempt to get out of the way. On the fastball that was about chin high. Count now 2-1 to Saeed.
Big run for the Rams to be able to get and cut the deficit to 1 after giving up 2 in that top of the first.
Here comes that 2-1 ball low in the dirt, blocked by Richards at the plate. Justin Smith going to have to stay at second base. Saeed Mahdi now ahead in the count 3-1, and you mentioned it, if the Rams are just patient at the plate, Galt is a guy that's going to walk an awful lot of batters. Now 32 on the season after that walk to Justin Smith. Now the 3-1 ready to Mahdi, that one high and inside, ball 4, so the second walk of the inning. Now puts 2 runners on base here with 2 outs in the bottom of inning number 1.
16th time Saeed Mahdi has drawn a base on balls this season. 2-1 with 2 outs. Daniel Keir to the plate.
And Keir steps in, a .370 batter. Has driven in 18 on the year. Could have 19. Taking the lead off second right now. A big hearty cut and a swing and a miss at strike 1.
Keir, a sophomore, one of 2 sophomores in this Rams starting lineup, to go along with 4 juniors, 3 seniors, and one grad student. That's Saeed Mahdi at first.
A throw back down to second base. Back in safe is Justin Smith. The way that Richards has had problems throwing down to second, you wonder what the thought process is with 2 outs trying to go behind a runner as the count now 0-2 to Kier.
He's clearly not afraid to throw the baseball. He's made a couple of throws behind runners at first. Now we see the throw behind the runner out at second, and then, of course, throwing down a couple of times with runners in motion.
The 0-2, a swing and a miss at the plate for strike 3 as Kier going to go down on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tyler Galt. The Rams do play to run on a snap throw down to second base. Coming in to score was Jared Carr. So the score, Notre Dame 2, Shepherd 1 as we go to the top of inning number 2 next. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
We only make home loans, so we better be good at it. And we are. It's that simple. With our focus solely on mortgage lending, you can come to us with peace of mind knowing that your mortgage loan is in good hands. As one of the nation's largest private lenders, our focus is on helping you get into your new home.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
2-1 here in the top of the second inning. Notre Dame set to stand in for their second at-bat of this ball game. They have the 2-1 lead after plating 2 in the top of the first inning. Both teams scoring a little unconventionally so far, a couple of different ways. There was a fly ball out to center field, a sacrifice fly for Nick Farrell. That would score a run.
Another run scored on the error to the shortstop in that first inning.
Stepping in now be Lucas Thompson. First pitch to him, a strike on the outside edge. Good zip on the fastball by Wilson.
We had Wilson at 17 pitches, 11 for strikes in that first inning.
A hard hit ball down the third base line goes by the outstretched dive of Saeed Mahdi into left field for another leadoff single. So we've now had 3 at-bats, 2 now by Notre Dame, and 1 for Shepherd in the bottom of the first, and all 3 leadoff batters have now reached with a single.
It turned on that one. A nice effort by Mahdi, but it was by him as he made that dive. Just couldn't reach out far enough.
A sharp hit ball off the bat of Thompson. Bring up Najee Garcia, today's starting third baseman. Check throw back over to first base. Thompson in safely.
Thompson getting a nice lead. Looking at his numbers, he will steal a base. 13 steals in 15 attempts on the year.
Garcia, a 208 batter, pushes a bunt foul down the first base line, hitting the front fence of the Notre Dame dugout for strike 1.
He's glad he sent it that far foul because that ball had a lot of air underneath of it as he kind of line drive that bunt anywhere near the field of play. Could have been an opportunity for pitcher or first baseman maybe to get there.
Garcia, 21 hits and 101 at-bats. Going down to second is Thompson, but a bunt push down the first base line. Nottingham with it. He will take it to the bag himself and step on first. So moving the runner over to second base was Garcia. So now runner in scoring position, 1 out here in the top of inning number 2.
He'll get credit for that sacrifice bunt. Kind of interesting way to go about it, going ahead and putting that runner in motion. Thompson had broken for second base. Had that pitch missed, and there may have been an opportunity for Hamill to throw down, but a nice job by Garcia to make sure that he got the bunt laid down.
We are now at the bottom of the order. It's Matt Richards as he takes strike 1 right down the middle. So in the top of the first, it was a single and a fielder's choice ground ball that would move Santoro to first. Here in the top of the second, it's a single and then a sacrificed bunt, moving Garcia to second base. So it's deja vu all over again from the top of the first inning. Runner on second, one out. Richards takes the 0-1 low and away for ball one.
Although in this case, head coach Len Barker deciding with the bottom of the order up there to make that sacrifice. It wasn't necessarily a sacrifice from Miley. He put that ball in play up the middle. I was fortunate to advance the runner as that runner was in motion. In this case, they were willing to give up the out to get that runner into scoring position.
The 1-1 fouled off just to our right out of play behind home plate. It'll now be Wilson ahead in the count 1-2. Richards going to have to protect here at the bottom of the lineup.
And choking up on the bat a couple of inches, trying to shorten that swing, get through the zone more quickly.
Here comes that 1-2, a flare into right field, and it is going to be caught in shallow right field by Giovanni Torres. What a great catch. Fading away from him. Coming in was Jared Carr. May have had a better play on it, but a great play by Torres with the over-the-shoulder catch for out number 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wondered if Carr may try to call him off, but Torres making that grab and then sliding down to quickly pop back up and turn and look at Thompson, who had to race back into the second base bag as he was about halfway towards third, hoping that one would drop.
We saw a flare single in the top of the first by Pascal. Thought that was going to have the same fortune. Now back to the top of the lineup as Santoro takes strike one. That one at the knees on the outside edge of the strike zone, but strike one nonetheless.
Well, Santoro took it to a 2-2 count his first time up before getting that base hit up the middle. See if Wilson can get the better of him this go-around.
2 down here in the top of inning number 2. Lucas Thompson standing at second. Time at the plate is Wilson and Christian Hamill not quite on the same page with what pitch they wanted to see here on the 0-1. Still taking an awfully long time, and now Wilson comes set, has the pitch he wants. Ready for the 0-1, that one low and away for ball one.
All of that for a low outside fastball.
And you know if that's not the pitch that Hamill wanted, that's going to be a point of contest in the dugout.
At least conversation.
Yes. And Wilson, a long look in. Now comes set out of the stretch, ready for that 1-1. Here's the 1-1, a breaking ball to Santoro that he fouls off down the first base line and out of play into the grass next to us, right next to Miller Hall.
Fortunate with that pitch. That one kind of was up in the zone. Santoro able to foul it off, but put that out over the plate just a little bit more, and that was a pitch that you could drive somewhere.
Now Santoro behind on the count 1-2. Wilson with the delivery. That one misses away for ball 2. That one just a little too far off the plate. A good backhand stab by Christian Hamill. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of inning number 2. Deuces are wild. And a runner at second base. Ready with that 2-2. Ball 3 just low. A little below the knees as Hamill held it there for a few seconds waiting to see if they would get the call. The count now runs full at 3-2.
Yeah, you could see that body language, easy for me to say, from Wilson. He thought that was strike 3. And I tell you, from our vantage point up here, I thought so as well.
Here comes that payoff pitch, and a swing and a miss on a high fastball. Santoro goes down on strikes to end the inning. A runner stranded at second is Lucas Thompson. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 2. It's Notre Dame 2, Shepherd 1. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7370.
How will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy?
The visitors plating 2 in the top of the first. Shepherd gained 1 back in the bottom of the first. Scoreless in the top of the second was Notre Dame, and that leads us to where we are now here in the bottom of inning number 2.
Well, Wilson settled down nicely in that second, gave up that leadoff single, but pitched well to retire the next 3 batters without giving up the run, and I like that high fastball to get the strikeout to close out the inning.
First pitch to Christian Hamill, a bouncer to the shortstop. Up with it is Santoro over to first for out number 1. Farrell hauls it into first base, so 1 pitch, 1 out to start the bottom of inning number 2 off the bat of Christian Hamill.
Yeah, Hamill pounded that one right down into the ground, and a nice play by Santoro on that hop to keep his momentum going and make that throw on the run to pretty easily get the out.
That'll bring up Giovanni Torres. Torres, a .293 hitter on the season.
And made a very nice defensive play in that last half inning.
First pitch to Torres, a sharp hit ball, but fouled on the left field line. Torres has that .293 batting average. That is 24 hits and 82 plate appearances.
And one of the 3 seniors in this starting lineup.
Galt out of the windup, ready with that 0-1. Here it is, and they swing and a miss. This one fouled down the right field line. So by process of elimination, this one's got to go right down the middle, right? Fouled on the third base line, fouled on the first base line. See if this one is a hit right up the middle with the timing now right. Here comes that to a breaking ball, and it's going to hit Giovanni Torres on that left arm, and he will take first base.
And that's why you wear that elbow protection.
You can hear the crack of the plastic from up here. Not a flinch as jogs without ease down to first base.
There you go. So the hit by pitch gives the Rams a base runner representing that tying run.
Bring up Trenton Bergreen, bottom of the order. Leadoff batter Jared Carr now stands on deck. Galt now out of the stretch with a runner on. That first pitch to Bergreen. High for ball 1.
Well, we saw Coach McCarty being aggressive, putting runners in motion in that first inning. See if he puts Torres in motion, although he's stolen only 2 bases this season, albeit in 2 attempts.
It's 100% if my math's correct. The 1-0 to Bergreen was high and inside, so the count now 2-0. As Galt steps off the back of the mound. Now back on, ready to deliver.
I'm sure stepping off with that wind picking up just a little bit.
The 2-0 high and inside again, an almost identical location to the 1-0. Has a 3-0 count now to Trenton Bergreen. The wind now picking up, at least in the infield. The flag in center field now just getting that wind. The 3-0, and that one will get Trenton Bergreen, so back-to-back hit batters. Would have been a walk regardless as that pitch was high and inside, but does get him, so going to go down as a hit by pitch.
And ironically enough, he had hit 8 batters in his prior 9 starts in 11 games on the mound. And so add 2 more to that total and put that together with the 2 walks that he had in that first inning. And again, he's giving away base runners. The Rams have to find a way to take advantage this inning where they weren't able to do it quite the way they wanted in that first.
Catcher Matt Richards going to have a conversation with his right-handed hurler.
And now's where it gets dangerous when you get to this top of the order, and Carr hitting .419, Doyle hitting .400, Smith, a power hitter, hitting .366. And you look at the runs batted in for those guys, Carr at 26, Doyle at 35, Smith at 51. They are good at the plate in situations like this.
The left-handed Carr now steps in, awaiting his first pitch. That one high and outside. Ball one. Saw a couple of pitches high and inside to right-handed batters, and that one a pretty similar location, high and outside to a left-handed batter. So Galt missing pretty consistently right now is the 1-0. This one fouled off behind home plate, and if you're Jared Carr, I'm taking a pitch or two. He's not proven that he can throw strikes as Tyler Galt this inning. I'm not giving him anything unless he throws it right down the middle, and that one was chased a little bit high and outside. Count now even at 1-1. Here comes that 1-1 pitch and a foul ball right at home plate. Carr now behind on the count, 1-2.
A good breaking pitch there from Galt. Carr with a swing, got just a piece of it. That would have been a strike even without the swing. That was a nice pitch. Now Carr's got to protect.
Runners on first and second. Torres and Bergreen both hit by pitches. As here comes that 1-2. Fouled off and into the stands as it bounced up from the playing surface, about a 5-foot wall that is the backstop. Bounced up underneath that protective screen. It's a good job by Carr staying alive in that leadoff spot.
Because that was a tough pitch to get the bat on, down and in to the left-hand batter. Although, for whatever reason, lefties tend to like it down and in, right?
Yep. Like to go down and golf at him. Again, ready with that 1-2. A check swing, fouled off behind home plate and out of play into the houses across the street. Didn't hear any windows shattering, but have seen quite a few watching baseball here over the years. If you've heard the ting of the bat, then about 6 seconds later you hear the shatter of a window. And you go, okay, somebody's not having a good day. Again with that 1-2, a check swing on the ball low and inside. The Carr able to hold up.
Oh, my. They give an appeal to the base umpire, and the base umpire says that Carr went through the strike zone. Very difficult for him to see at his angle with the two runners on. He's actually on the third base side between the second base bag and the pitcher's mound. Boy, I didn't like that one, and neither did Carr.
Now, I assume they wouldn't even check down his swing because I didn't think he even went anywhere close to halfway.
Well, it will be a strikeout for out number 2.
We'll bring out Brenton Doyle. First pitch to Doyle. A breaking ball for strike one.
Well, the Rams are going to need that clutch base hit now.
Yeah, it did not look like Carr went anywhere close to a round. I mean, the hands definitely went, but I didn't think the bat went anywhere close to halfway through. It's the 0-1 to Doyle. Again, another off-speed pitch for strike 2.
Well, a nice job by Galt, who got wild after getting the first out, hitting Torres and Bergreen, battled back to get Carr on a 1-2 count, and now has gone 0-2 to Doyle. So all of a sudden, he's got that strike zone again.
Steps off the back of the mound. Again, as the wind just picked up. Toes that pitching rubber again as Doyle awaits. Would not surprise me if Doyle called time at home plate as he does, as Galt and Richards, similar to what we saw from Wilson and Hamill in the top of inning number 2, just not quite on the same page when it comes to what pitch they want.
Well, a little cat-mouse game going on maybe as well between batter and pitcher.
Here comes the 0-2, and a ball sharply hit into right field. Working back onto this Thompson, and he will make the catch on the run. A good job by Lucas Thompson in right field to haul it in for out number 3. No runs come across. 2 runners left on. 1 in scoring position here in the bottom of inning number 2. We'll go to the top of the 3rd. It's Notre Dame 2, Shepherd 1.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Top of inning number 3 here at Fairfax Field. Notre Dame, the visiting Falcons, hold a 1-run lead at 2-1. Both teams scoreless in the second. 2 runs in the top of the first for Notre Dame, 1 for the Shepherd University Rams. A couple of runners left on for Shepherd in the bottom of that second inning, including 1 in scoring position after Torres and Berggreen. The 8-9 hitters were both hit by pitches, but a questionable strike 3 call on Jared Carr. And a high fly ball to right field. A good run down by Thompson to end the inning. Leading it off will be Corey Miley as he takes strike 1 on the outer edge to get the top of inning number 3 started.
Miley is the lone freshman in this starting lineup for either team.
That 0-1 a breaking ball misses just outside. Got now even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Miley, as a freshman, has now appeared in 24 games, and this is his 22nd start.
That 1-1, a dribbler to the shortstop. Berggreen up with it, fires across, and Eddie Nottingham brings it in for out number 1. Good play by Berggreen, who we've seen earlier today having some issues fielding the ground ball cleanly. That one, a routine ground ball. He took a couple steps in and fired a bullet over to Nottingham at first.
And a good pitch by Wilson, keeping it down, getting that ground ball.
Brings up Joe Pascal as another ball hit to the shortstop. Berggreen up with it and fires it. This one goes over the head of Eddie Nottingham, so just have to give him a compliment for a great play made. Berggreen had plenty of time and just seemed to rush that throw, and Nottingham didn't even make a leap at it. Immediately just turned and went to go find the baseball. As reaching on the E6 will be Pascal.
Yeah, I am right there with you. I mean, Berggreen had it cleanly, had a chance to really set his feet and make the throw, and instead really rushed it, kind of picking it up and throwing all in one motion. And you could see from our angle as it was coming out of his hand, It was rising going across the diamond.
Brings up Rick Phillips. First pitch to him, a strike on the lower outside corner. And shortstop over the last couple of years has just been one of those positions for Shepherd where they just can't seem to find a guy that is that consistent, always going to get the outs we need him to. Shortstop as the 0-1 fouled off behind home plate, hitting the screen. Now Phillips behind on the count 0-2.
Yet at the same time, this Ram defense, one of the top defenses in fielding percentage in this Mountain East Conference.
Phillips takes time at the plate prior to the 0-2. Wilson will step off and go through the pitches again.
Seeing this a lot. This is a slow pace right now to this game, as we've seen it from both pitchers.
The 0-2 breaking ball lifted, a foul out of play down the right field line. And again, avoiding cars, just hitting that asphalt and bouncing into the grass on the far side.
Yeah, you could see the high bounce as it came off the asphalt and then up into the air. Doesn't bounce that high off the hood of a vehicle.
And you can hear it from here. There's always that thud. The 0-2 strike 3 looking on the outside corner. A great location for Mitchell Wilson, and Rick Phillips just going to walk back shaking his head, but that is a great pitch by Wilson on the outside edge.
Yeah, very good pitch to collect his second strikeout of the game. Lifts him to 46 Ks on the season.
Nick Farrell now steps in, the lefty batting 5th today. First pitch to him lifted out of play behind home plate.
You feel like Wilson's getting into a rhythm here after the struggles of that first inning, giving up the 2 runs on 2 hits. But remember, there was an error in that half inning as well that allowed one of those runs to score. After giving up the leadoff single in the second, retired the next 3, and should have gotten out of this half inning 3 up, 3 down. But as a result of an error, there's a runner at first with 2 away.
Farrell had the sacrifice fly that brought in a run back in the first inning. The 0-1. Misses low for ball 1. It was that deep fly ball to center field that scored Pascal.
You hit the nail on the head deep. When it came off the bat, didn't look like it was going to go that far, but Brenton Doyle did a very good job to stay with it and go make the catch pretty much right at the edge of the warning track.
Here comes that 1-1, the sharp hit ball to the right side. Torres can't come up with it, bounces off his glove after the dive. So moving to second base will be Pascal safely, and reaching on an infield single will be Farrell. A great effort by Giovanni Torres, laying out and keeping the ball in front of him, keeping Pascal from moving from first to third. But just couldn't come up with it on what would have been an absolutely amazing play to make, but Torres not able to come up with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's feeling that one just a little bit as he landed on the ground hard, fully extended to just get a glove on it and knock it down. Great defensive play.
Purdy up with it. He's going to drive one back up the middle. That's going to get into center field. Doyle's going to have to make a good play. Rounding third base is Pascal. Play at the plate, and Hamill can't come up with it. It bounces off his gloves. His glove. The runners are going to advance. Moving to second and third now after the infield single. Purdy at second. Moving to third is Nick Farrell. So the RBI single for Adam Purdy. Now scores Pascal from second base. The ball nicking off Christian Hamill's glove, allowing the runners to advance.
Well, RBI number 12 on the year for Purdy makes it 3-1 Falcons. And I tell you, Wilson hasn't pitched that poorly. We've just seen some bouncing balls literally right back through the box. I mean, it's the old hit 'em where they ain't philosophy.
So the runners advancing on the ball that got by Christian Hamill. Probably just should have moved. I don't think there was going to be a play at the plate. I think Pascal was going to be in safely regardless. A breaking ball in for strike one to Lucas Thompson, who had a single back in the second.
Right now, 2 errors on the board for the Rams. I wondered if there might be an error as that throw came through to the plate.
A ball lifted into right field. I think it's going to get out of play, and it will, just over the right field foul line fence. A good run by Jared Carr to try to haul it in, but not going to keep that one in the yard. Count now 0-2 to Thompson.
I know the runners may advance on that throw to the plate, but kind of holding up to see that play, and then as the ball got by Hamill, then you saw those runners make their move.
Now comes that 0-2 to Thompson, and they swing and a miss. They strike out of Lucas Thompson to end the inning, but a run does cross on an RBI single from Adam Purdy. We'll go to the bottom of inning number 3. It's Notre Dame 3, Shepherd 1. This is Shepherd Baseball on TV 10.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Welcome back into Fairfax Field. Maybe getting the tail end of some confirmation on numbers between us, trying to figure out pitches and everything. We have 46 for Mitchell Wilson through 3.
32 of those, 4 strikes.
3-1 is your score as we head to the bottom of inning number 3. A run scored in the bottom of the first for Shepherd, 2 in the top of the first for Notre Dame, and then 1 in the top of this inning is a RBI single. Plated a run, that single coming off the bat of Adam Purdy. Justin Smith will lead it off for Shepherd. Smith reached on a base on balls his first time up in the first inning, and a hearty cut, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Head came off, shoulder came out. If he made contact with that one, it was going to go a long way, but missed everything for strike 1. Here comes that 0-1, and a foul ball at the plate that dribbles back to Tyler Galt on the mound, but hit the plate and the batter first. So now Smith behind the count 0-2.
Smith, a very dangerous hitter at the plate with that 366 average, and again the power with the 10 home runs. He hit one that had home run distance but foul in his first at bat.
Nottingham standing in that on-deck circle. And we'll wind up. Here's that 0-2, a breaking ball. That one's going to miss a little bit outside for ball one. Through the first 2 innings, we have 37 pitches for Tyler Galt. A swing and a miss at the plate. Wasn't sure if he got a piece of it, but walking back to the dugout is Justin Smith. Didn't make the run down the first on the drop third strike, but it'll be a strikeout for Galt. That'll be his 4th on the day.
Yeah, one of those where Smith knew it and immediately was headed back towards the dugout. Richards able to dig that one up out of the dirt, and then he put a tag on Smith as he was trying to go by just to make sure.
Nottingham now to the plate as he skies one high to the left side of the infield. Santoro having to come in on the baseball, and he misses it on a high hit baseball. Both the third baseman Garcia and shortstop Santoro were back in shallow left field, and both sprinting in as that ball dropped in the grass of the infield. And the wind playing havoc as you look at the flag in center field. That wind blowing fiercely in towards home plate, and a tough play for Santoro to make as that ball playing games on a ball hit very, very high into the air. And standing now at second base will be Eddie Nottingham.
And I think that's exactly what Santoro was saying to third baseman Garcia as they were holding conversation, as they were out, as you mentioned, into shallow left and had to sprint in a good 50-plus feet to where that ball finally landed.
Saeed Mahdi lifts one into left field, and that one is gone. Mahdi's going to touch them all. A 2-run home run that is going to tie this ball game up, and he put a charge into that one. That'll be home run number 10 for Saeed Mahdi and RBI number 39 and 40 as the Rams tie it at 3 here in the bottom of inning number 3.
And for Notre Dame, isn't that the way it goes? You know, a ball that you think you're going to get an out on that towering pop-up, and then the very next batter on the very first pitch gets one to his liking and is able to drive it out over that left field fence. We mentioned it's 310 down the lines, 355 into the alleys, and that one got out of here with a little room to spare.
We'll bring up Daniel Keir. First pitch to him, high and inside, ball 1. And Mahdi knew that one as soon as it hit his bat. Hit the home run trot as he was about halfway up the line as Adam Purdy just watched that one go over the fence. Now a sharp hit ball to the left side. Up with it is Garcia. Fire over to first. 4-out number 2.
Yeah, nice play by Garcia. Showing some range, moving over to his left, able to grab that one on about a waist-high hop and then set himself to make the strong throw.
2 down now for Christian Hamill, who steps in. A ground-out victim, his first at-bat in the second.
Home run number 61 for the Rams as a team this season on that homer for Mahdi.
Big swing and a miss for Christian Hamill on the first pitch he sees. No balls, 1 strike.
To give you an idea, Ram opponents have hit 20 home runs this season.
Yeah, one to Hamill, a off-speed pitch and misses high, ball 1.
Add in 86 doubles, 16 triples, and this is a Ram team that can beat you with the extra base hit.
That 1-1 pitch misses just a bit inside. Hamill threw the knob of the ball, or the knob of the bat, a little bit at it, but never came around. Good discipline at the plate. Now ahead in the count, 2-1. Here comes that 2-1 pitch, just lifted into center field. Moving back onto this, Phillips. Moving up the hill is Phillips, and that ball is going to one bounce and get over the wall in center field for a ground rule double. So Christian Hamill, a 2-out double to put another runner in scoring position. And again, I think the wind playing havoc on Rick Phillips in center field. He was in the vicinity to make that catch, but the wind now moving, coming from straight in, now kind of blowing towards right field from left field. So the wind, the friend of the Shepherd Rams right now.
Yeah, it looked for a moment like Phillips felt like he had a bead on it. You know, he saw it coming off the bat, and you just kind of watched him almost tracking it and then realized, wait a minute, he doesn't have it as it went sailing up over his head and off to his left.
Torres watches ball one, high and inside. Also doesn't help that in center field, Phillips working with that hill, and not something that you're going to have at every ballpark, so it messes up your read on a fly ball just a little bit. Here comes that 1-0. A strike on the outside edge.
Or perhaps off the outside edge. Our home plate umpire has given that outside a corner. Very good pitch. Nothing Torres was going to do with that one. And wow, look at the dust stirring and kicking up with the gust of wind picking up.
It's come in spurts here today. A pretty consistent wind all day, but you'll get those gusts that we've looked at that have been up near about 40 miles an hour. And it's going to play havoc on a baseball game. Here comes that 1-1, a breaking ball. Never quite broke. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, that was the forecast. Winds pretty consistent, about 25, and seeing some gusts upwards of 40 to 40 plus. Thought they were supposed to settle down as we went through the afternoon.
Here's a foul ball behind home plate, right to our right, getting almost back to the street behind Miller Hall on a sharply hit foul ball. The count now even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. To second baseman Giovanni Torres.
Looking for that clutch 2-out hit that might bring in the go-ahead run. Rams have yet to have a lead in this one.
Here's that 2-2 to Torres. The ball lifted into center field. Coming in on it and making the play is Rick Phillips. Thought that ball was going to die a little bit going out towards center field, but it stayed in the air long enough for Phillips to come in and make the catch for out number 3. 2-run score in the inning on a 2-run blast by Saeed Mahdi. We are tied at 3. We'll head to the top of inning number 4 next. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the horsemen.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
It was a 2-run blast for Saeed Mahdi. They tied this game up at 3 in the bottom of inning number 3. As we head to the top of inning number 4, it'll be Najee Garcia leading it off for the Falcons. 46 pitches is what we have for Shepherd's starter, Mitchell Wilson. Both pitchers relatively efficient through the first 3. As Wilson now ready to deliver the first pitch, fouled off behind home plate and out of play by Garcia. Wilson working quickly now, out of the windup again, ready for that 0-1. Garcia takes that one low and away for ball 1.
Well, Wilson settling down a bit through that second and third innings after giving up the 2 runs in the first. It was the error that prolonged the inning in the third that ultimately led to the RBI hit from Purdy.
The 1-1 bounced in front of the plate on the breaking ball. Easy one for Garcia to take. Backhanded stab by Christian Hamill. Count now 2 balls, 1 strike.
Wilson doing some mound work there, kicking dirt away from the pitching rubber.
A 2-1 raked down the left field line, but just foul off the bat of Garcia. The count now even 2-2. It's a very sharply hit baseball. Just a few feet foul. Count now even 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's Wilson with the pitch. That ball lifted into center field. Working it on it is Brenton Doyle. He camps under it and makes the routine fly ball out for the first out here in the top of inning number 4. Nothing has been routine so far in center field, though. I'm sure that one, while it looked routine for Brenton Doyle, had some sort of twist on it at some point.
Yeah, with any ball in the air right now, when you talk about the wind blowing the way that it is blowing today.
One down. We'll bring up Matt Richards, the catcher for Notre Dame, as he flies one down the right field line, and this one is going to get out of play. Again, another sharply hit foul ball, just the wind probably carrying that one a little bit as well. And Matt, just to keep you up to date on what's going on in the NFL draft, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers just picked up a kicker. Congratulations on the pick.
Yeah, they have not had a lot of success with those kicker picks in recent years.
Richards ready for that 0-1, a breaking ball that he lines, and a sharp stab by Trenton Bergreen at shortstop. Took a few steps back. A little bit of a hop to go up and get that one on a ball that was falling fast. A good job by Trenton Bergreen hauling that one in for out number 2.
Yeah, nice play. I thought initially it was going to get up over top of his head, but at the last second he had that little leap where he could get just high enough to bring it in.
So 2 have come to the plate, and 2 have been retired here in the top of inning number 4. Wilson looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of this ball game. Now out of the windup to Zach Santera, the leadoff batter. Check swing that is fouled off behind home plate. Santera now behind 0-1. Again, Wilson working quickly out of the windup with no runners on base. The 0-1. This one fouled off down the first baseline and out of play. Doinking off of Miller Hall.
Well, we've seen Wilson work slowly, changing the pace up just a little bit here in this 4th inning. Has worked, as you've mentioned, a little more quickly.
And with no runners on, he seems to work a lot with a lot more of a brisk pace than with runners on. But, of course, now that we said that, taking his time, ready with that 0-2, a breaking ball. This one lifted into right field. That's going to be in for a base hit. A clutch 2-out base hit by the leadoff batter, Zach Santero. That'll be his second hit of the day after a single back in the first.
6 hits now in the ball game for the Falcons.
So a 2-out single. We'll bring up Corey Miley. Miley, a ground out victim. His first 2 times up. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the first. And just a 6-3. Back in the third, takes ball 1. As he looks down the third baseline, getting instruction. Now we'll step back in. Wilson comes set out of that stretch. Pierce over at first, now delivers the 1-0. That one nicks off the glove of Christian Hamill, and now moving into scoring position is Santero on the pass ball. A very catchable ball for Christian Hamill, and just let that one nick off his glove and get to the backstop.
It seemed like he may have been fooled by it, the way that he, at the last second, really had to reach out for that one. Not sure if it was just a case of Wilson not hitting that location or what it may have been, but clearly situation to allow a base runner to advance, not what the Rams wanted.
A big pitch on the 2-0 as Miley takes strike 1, and Wilson needed that pitch after getting 2 quick outs to start the inning. A single, a pass ball, moving Santero to a second base, and was behind on Miley, a 2-0. So he needed that strike to get back in this inning. Steps off the back of the mound now. Toes the rubber again. Checks back at second a couple of times. Delivers that 2-1, and that one gets away from Christian Hamill, but not able to advance is Santoro. Not sure if he didn't get a good read on that baseball. He could have easily been standing just 90 feet from home plate after that ball again got by Christian Hamill.
No, he did not get a good read, and you could see his reaction as he decided, I better stay because he didn't get that big break. He knows he had a chance to be at third.
3-1 the count now to the second baseman, Corey Miley. That 2-1 pitch low in the dirt. It bounces going to third base, and No throw made by Christian Hamill. Good heads-up baseball by Zach Santoro, making up for the previous pitch that he didn't advance on. So we'll have runners at the corners now with 2 outs. And this inning went from working very well for Mitchell Wilson to now going to have to battle to get out.
I was going to say, just about the time we were talking about him maybe settling in just a little bit, things have come unraveled with 2 outs in the inning after the hit by Santoro, and really struggling to find the strike zone against Miley, and that'll bring Patrick Smith out for a visit.
And just try to settle down his man on the mound. Again, it was 2 quick outs. It was a fly ball by Najee Garcia to Brenton Doyle to start the inning. Had a 5-pitch at-bat. Then on just 2 pitches, it was a little flare to the shortstop for Matt Richards. And you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a pretty good inning. On an 0-2 count, Santoro lifted one that was a bloop single into shallow right field. He advanced on a pass ball, and now a walk to Miley. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Joe Pascal. Pascal with a run just 90 feet away. As Hamill trying to avoid the practice swings, giving that first and third defense. Pascal standing in the batter's box, just taking some cuts. Tied here at 3 apiece in the top of inning number 4 after the Saeed Mahdi 2-run home run. In the bottom of inning number 3, first pitch to Pascal, low and away, ball 1.
On a big situation here for Notre Dame. You give up that 2-run home run in the bottom of the 3rd, and now you're in a 3-3 tie. To be able to bounce right back and regain the lead would be big for them.
Here comes that 1-0, and that is going to tip off the bat. I thought it may have got the hand, but
nope.
Got the bat of Pascal for a...
Len Barker is going to come out and ask about it. But I think what that ball did is it hit the oh, wait a minute. Now our plate umpire
is... the knuckle. That's part of the bat,
I was going to say, he's checking with the batter and now is going to, after looking at the hand of Pascal, give him first base, and that'll get Matt McCarty out to ask about it.
The hand is part of the bat, isn't it?
Well, and I kind of thought that the way he was looking at the pinky finger, I thought it hit the actual handle of the bat underneath of the hands as that one came in. Because you could hear the noise that at least I thought...
that was not a hand noise. There was metal somewhere.
Our crowd mic picked up that noise that certainly sounded like it hit more than just finger. Matt McCarty getting the explanation, and we'll head back to the third base dugout, and the bases are loaded. Wow.
How the inning has turned. A single, a walk, and now a hit by pitch, all with 2 outs in the inning. Notre Dame has the bases loaded. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Rick Phillips.
Hey, if you're Mitchell Wilson, all you got to do is make a pitch to get an out, and no damage is done.
First pitch to Phillips, low and away on the breaking ball. Good stop by Hamill, sliding over on his knees to keep that ball in front of him and keeping all the runners where they are. Phillips on the year. 15 driven in that cleanup spot. Has a couple and could get all the way up to 18. The 1-0, that's a fastball right down the middle for strike 1.
And good pitch, keeping it down low, out of that sweet spot, if you will, for Phillips.
Ready with that 1-1 is Wilson. Here it is, a check swing, but a called strike at the plate on a good breaking ball, just a little bit off the plate. So now Wilson ahead of Phillips. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a big pitch upcoming.
Yeah, nice job working that outside part of the plate.
Out of the stretch coming, set is Wilson. And here comes that 1-2, a breaking ball, and just missed a bit high. Looked like it broke right over the heart of the plate. Not sure. We're going to say that one missed a bit high, but not by much.
The question came from the Ram dugout off the third base side, and you could watch our umpire gesture with his left hand to the dugout that it did miss high, in his opinion.
Sure didn't look like it from our vantage point. Count now even 2 balls, 2 strikes to Rick Phillips. Here comes that 2-2 pitch and a drive to center field. Brenton Doyle's going to have to go back on it, and he makes the catch in center field on the back trot to end the inning. No runs come across on what turned out to be a lot more complicated of an inning than it looked after the first 2 batters. the bases left loaded here in the top of inning number 4. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Tied at 3 here at Fairfax Field. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I'm beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
Three as we are now in the bottom of inning number 4 here at Fairfax Field. Bases left loaded for Notre Dame on a little bit of a 2-out rally in the top of inning number 4. Shepherd tied it up in the bottom of the 3rd with a 2-run home run by Saeed Mahdi after a, double being helped out by the wind for Eddie Nottingham. Now we will start at the bottom of the lineup for Trenton Bergreen. Bergreen hit by a pitch in the 2nd. First pitch to him, right down the middle, strike 1.
See if the Rams can get that offense going again after tying it in the 3rd. Maybe pick up a little momentum getting out of that bases-loaded jam in the top of the 4th inning. Take the lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
That 0-1 sharp hit ball that's going to get by a sliding third baseman Garcia, and reaching first base safely is going to be Trenton Bergreen on a rocket to third base and an infield single.
Yeah, definitely a base hit there, as that would have been an amazing play for Garcia to come up with that one. It was on him in a heartbeat. So there you go, a hard hit ball, and the Rams have a runner at first, and now you're back to the top of the order, that part of the order that has done so much damage this year.
Jared Carr now steps in that leadoff spot and takes ball 1 outside. Efforting a score on the softball game across campus at Sarah Cree Field. Senior day for the Lady Rams softball team.
Yeah, matchup today against the University of Charleston doubleheader action.
That one misses outside and also a bit high for ball 2.
Carr singled and scored in the 1st, a strikeout victim in the 2nd, up for a 3rd time. Hold a hit through with the runner being held at first.
Here comes that 2-0, a push bunt down the third base line. That'll get foul. Forced strike 1, trying to pull one over on Najee Garcia, who was playing deep, playing about normal third base depth, as he will now play inside the baseline.
Well, not a bad idea. Now, though, you got Garcia in right at the fringe of the dirt in the infield grass, and time taken as another gust of wind picking up a lot of dust. John shaking his head in agreement out there. It's a dusty one.
Here comes that 2-1. That one a little low and outside, ball 3. The count now 3-1 to Jared Carr. Standing on first base is Trenton Bergreen. He reached on a single to start the bottom of the 4th. That 3-1 high and outside, and Jared Carr going to take first base on the walk.
And now the Rams have something going with 2 on and nobody out. And you've got Doyle, Smith, and Nottingham all coming up.
Brenton Doyle 0 for 2 on the day. 2 flyouts to right field.
Well, Richards going out to talk to Galt, pitcher-catcher on the front slope of the mound. You look at that walk, and that is now 3 walks that have been allowed by Galt so far. And in a couple of hit by pitches as well.
Again, a doubleheader here today. We are over halfway through game number 1. we believe, again, a game scheduled to go 7, but tied here at 3. And then the second game of this doubleheader going to start about a half hour after this one ends. Brennan Doyle now stepping in. A fly-out victim is previous 2 at-bats. A check back to second. And Bergreen back in safely. Just a quick turn, no throw. Galton now coming back set and will deliver the first pitch to Doyle. This one fouled off out of play down the right field line. Again, going to bang off Miller Hall. That building has probably seen a few thousand baseballs. One of the oldest buildings here on campus. Now ready for that 0-1 as Brenton Doyle's going to lift one into center field. Working in on it is Rick Phillips, and a ball that looked like it was tailing back towards center field off the bat of Brenton Doyle. Looked like it may be a gapper off the bat and just had a little bit of a trail on it, trailing right back towards Rick Phillips, coming over to make the play for out number 1.
Yeah, hit hard, but unfortunately nothing to show for it. Doyle 0 for 3 today. A couple of fly ball outs to right, and that a line out to straightaway center. Big out right there for Galt.
Sets up the double play possibility as Justin Smith will now step in. Smith on the day had a walk in the first and a strikeout in the third. Takes ball 1 high and outside.
And you mentioned the baseballs that Miller Hall has seen. They've played baseball here for a long time. Used to also play football here at Fairfax Field.
Here comes that 1-0 and a sharp hit ball to the right side. A good job on the hop as Corey Miley with it. A toss over to first. Farrell with it for out number 2, but that does advance both runners now into scoring position. It'll be Bergreen standing at third base. Standing at second will be Jared Carr.
A good range there for the freshman Corey Miley as he went far to his left, but got a favorable hop to be able to grab that one and make the strong throw to first for the out.
Brings up Eddie Nottingham, who hit a towering ball back in the third, that ended up dropping in for a double. He would then score on the Saeed Mahdi 2-run blast. First pitch to him, low and away, ball 1.
Can't help but snicker. Not often that you get credit for 2 bases on a hit that doesn't even touch the dirt on the infield.
Who was it, Babe Ruth, that hit an inside the park home run that allegedly bounced in the infield? That 1-0 now, another towering fly ball. This one going to the right side. Camping underneath it is Corey Miley, and he'll bring this one in. A 4-out number 3. No runs come across for Shepherd. A score still knotted at 3 as we will go to the top of inning number 5 when we come back. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons number 1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became number 1 by making you number 1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
3-3 as we're now in the 5th inning here at Fairfax Field. First game of the doubleheader between Notre Dame and our Shepherd University Rams, taking you the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. Play-by-play duties now will be thrown over to Matt Miller.
Thank you, Matt Crawford. Thanks to John Alderton running our TV 10 camera today. Caleb Valero, our engineer, back at the studio. TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Coverage of Shepherd Rams baseball. Glad to finally get here this season. We've been following this team. An opportunity on our Miller Time sports talk show in the afternoons to talk with Coach McCarty numerous times during the course of the season. And glad to now get here and see this team in action. Nick Farrell, out of the number 5 spot in the order, leading things off in the first pitch down and in for ball 1 for Mitchell Wilson. Right now we would have him at 70 pitches. 45 of those have gone for strikes. Right-hander comes back with a fastball low and outside. 2-0 to the sophomore first baseman, Nick Farrell. Farrell officially 1 for 1 as he takes just off that inside corner. Hamill holds it there for a moment. The Ram catcher hoping to get the umpire to call the strike, but it's 3-0. Farrell had a sac fly to drive home his 17th run on the year in the first, an infield single in the third, and has just walked on 4 pitches as the 3-0 low and outside gets by Hamill to the backstop. That's ball 4. So the leadoff batter on yet again. The leadoff batter reached in the first and scored, reached in the second and was left stranded at second, and now reaches here in the 5th. Brings to the plate Adam Purdy. Junior left fielder had an RBI single his last time up. Grounded out to the pitcher back in the first. He's 1 for 2, squares and bunts through a breaking pitch for strike 1. He was ready to advance the runner, but never got bat on ball. He'll look down at his third base coach going through a series of signs as Farrell will stretch out his lead. Purdy will step back into the batter's box. Left-hand hitter with a hole to hit through. He hits it in that hole between first and second and out into right field. Purdy turning on that 0-1, has a base hit, his second of the day. And don't look now, but Notre Dame with nobody out has runners at first and second.
That was a good piece of hitting. You saw Torres kind of shading over towards the second base bag, and Purdy had a nice hole to hit through, and he did just that. Was a little ahead on that pitch and driving it into right field. And like you mentioned, now a possible bunt opportunity coming up for Lucas Thompson. He could put 2 runners on in scoring position, move both those runners up, and have no outs in the inning, possibly 1 out.
Well, Nottingham and Motti in at the corners, perhaps expecting that bunt, showing bunt, but then taking the pitch low and outside is Lucas Thompson, and the count to him a ball and no strikes.
This is where it gets tricky as a pitcher, because in the back of your mind you're thinking, all right, we'll trade a run or an out for base positioning, and but then you try to get too cute and try to paint the corners, and you end up possibly walking the guy or getting behind an account early. So we'll see how Mitchell Wilson handles this one.
Here comes the pitch on the outside corner, taken for a strike. Thompson again showed bunt, this time pulled the bat back and looked at a strike. Boy, Nottingham about halfway down the line now at first. Motti about even with the bag as he'll try to stay at third. It's going to be up to the pitcher, Mitchell Wilson, to cover if the bunt goes up the third base line. 1-1 pitch, that one up and a bit in. Thompson again gets out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. You got to like what you're seeing from the sophomore at the plate. So many times a guy gets that sign and thinks, okay, I got to get the bunt down, and they'll bunt at anything. But you got to remember, it's just like any other at bat. If it's a strike, okay, bunt it. But if it's not, let it go by. 2-1 pitch due. Wilson looks at the runner at second, delivers. There is the bunt, pushed up the third base line. Charging hard on it is Motti, and the third baseman will scoop and have no play. It'll be a bunt base hit for Lucas Thompson. He put it in the perfect spot as Wilson was not able to get over coming off the mound, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, it's a great bunt pushing up the third base line. You mentioned it that Mitchell Wilson was going to have to cover. If there was a bunt down the third base line, Wilson wasn't going to be able to get to it. The right-handed tosser is going to fall off the left side of that mound, so he's just not going to be able to get over, causing Motti to have to come up, and that was a bunt that only went about 40 feet. So a great bunt off the bat of Lucas Thompson. Now the base is loaded, nobody on for Najee Garcia.
Garcia taking that first pitch in the breaking ball, snaps across the plate for strike 1. There are some players for the Rams now in the bullpen area out beyond that left field fence, but it doesn't look like anyone working at this moment in time. Garcia in the right-hand box. Swings and lines this one over the head of the second baseman. That's out into right center field. Farrell will score. Purdy being waved around the throw into the cutoff. It'll be a single to plate a pair for Najee Garcia. He'll have RBI number 8 and 9, and the 3-3 score broken. The tie broken as Notre Dame takes a 5-3 lead.
What a great piece of hitting, just going inside out, and a great play by Giovanni Torres at second base, extending as much as he could. The ball just got about 1.5 feet over his glove into right field, but again, a great piece of hitting by Garcia in that number 8 spot, and still nobody out here in the top of inning number 5.
Lucas Thompson, who was at first, motors all the way around to third, and well, there had been action in the pen earlier, and that relief pitcher is loose and apparently now ready to go as Matt McCarty has come out and taken the baseball from Mitchell Wilson. He'll go 4+ innings, does not retire a batter here in the 5th, and our new pitcher making his way towards the mound, and we'll have his warm-up tosses coming and then get back to action in just a moment. Waiting to see, can't quite get that number. It is the 3-3, and that would be Adam Miller, a sophomore right-hander out of nearby Sharando High School in Stevens City, Virginia. So as Miller gets in his warm-up tosses, we'll take a 60-second break and then come back to Fairfax Field. We are in the top half of inning number 5 in Game 1 of today's doubleheader action, and Notre Dame now leads Shepherd 5-3.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Whisk. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Adam Miller finishing his warm-up tosses, replacing Mitchell Wilson, the Rams starter, through 4+ innings. So far allowing 5 runs on 9 hits. The runners on base at the corners, still his responsibility. Wilson would strike out 3, he walked 2, and also hit a batter, and now Miller will come in and try to make sure that those runners on base that he inherits do not come around and score. The Rams down now by 2 runs.
This will be Miller's 10th appearance on the season, his 4th out of the bullpen, 40 innings of work, a 3.83 ERA. He's given up 50 hits, 25 runs, only 17 charged to him, 16 walks, but a great strikeout number at 40.
Matt Richards is the batter, and the first pitch to him down low and outside. It does get away from the catcher Hamill, but not far enough or not fast enough for either of the runners to try to advance. Thompson at third, Garcia at first. Ball and no strikes to the number 9 hitter in the Notre Dame order. 0 for 2 with a pop out to second and a line out to short his last time up in the 4th. This pitch down low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Miller has started 6 games this season. A 4-3 record. So seen just about every situation now.
Ready with that 2-0. On the inside corner, it's a called strike. 2-1 now to Richards. Waiting in the on-deck circle, the leadoff hitter in the order, Zach Santoro. Nottingham holds the runner at first with runners at the corners. And nobody out in the inning. Pitch to the plate, grounded in the hole between third and short, and it will score a run. Thompson easily able to come home from third. Stopping at second is Garcia. And Richards reaches at first with the RBI base hit, picking up his 10th run batted in on the season. And Notre Dame stretches that lead out to 6-3.
And not the way Miller wanted to start his day, and I'm sure not what Coach McCarty had in mind when he went to that bullpen. But right now Notre Dame capitalizing. here in the top of inning number 5.
4 consecutive singles. After a walk, it got the inning started. Back to the top of the order, and Santoro. Runners at first and second. Santoro swings, bounces it foul, third base side. 0-1 to the leadoff hitter, who is 2 for 3. A single to center and a run scored in the first. A strikeout on a 3-2 pitch in that second. Struck out swinging in that at bat. Then delivered a single to right his last time up in the 4th inning. Miller takes his time, looks in at Hamill, has the sign. The runners their leads. Nottingham coming in at first, maybe expecting a bunt. No bunt shown as Santoro takes the breaking pitch on the outside corner. Is a called strike 2. So Nottingham will now go back behind the runner at first. Motti at third, playing just about even with the bag. Middle infielders bunched up the middle. Love to get a double play ground ball here. 0-2 on the way, and it's fouled to the backstop. Count holds 0-2.
And just able to stay alive is Santoro. We've seen a couple of good at-bats from him today. A 5-pitch at-bat in the first inning, 6 pitches in inning number 2, and then singled on a 3-pitch at-bat with 2 strikes on him, and it was a challenging 4th inning for Wilson to get out of. He was the beginning of that little 2-out rally scare. Is now here in the top of the 5th. Some runs have crossed the plate for Notre Dame.
0-2 pitch, a fastball that misses high. 1-2 to Santoro. Corey Miley due next. And Notre Dame scored 2 in the first. Shepherd answered with 1 in the bottom of the inning. Neither team scored in the second. Then they reversed it in the third with Notre Dame scoring 1, Shepherd scoring 2. Neither team scoring in that 4th inning, but here in the top of the 5th, Notre Dame has broken through. Santoro swings and misses at this 1-2 pitch, and that is a big strikeout for the first out of the inning.
It's a big strikeout, and that sets up the double play opportunity as it brings up Corey Miley. Miley's grounded out twice in this ball game, walked last inning.
Both of those ground balls to the shortstop. A grounder to the shortstop now could end the inning. First pitch, nice fastball outside edge. Count to Miley, 0-1. Love to turn 2. As 3 runs have already scored in the inning, and it's a 6-3 Notre Dame lead. The Rams will have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due in their half of inning number 5. Breaking pitch stays high, 1 ball, 1 strike to the freshman Miley. Notre Dame scored 7 runs their last time out. It was a midweek non-conference game at Lake Erie. Problem was they gave up 11. Suffered an 11-7 setback in that one. 1-1 pitch down low. 2 balls and a strike. That snapped what had been a 4-game winning streak. Sure, for Coach Len Barker, he would like to see a little more consistency out of this team, as they've just had too many kind of up and down patches throughout the course of the season. The runners their leads at first and second. The 2-1 pitch due. Miller ready. Here it comes, and it's lifted in the air into left center field. Left field arranging over and in, and Justin Smith is there to make the catch. The runners will hold now with 2 outs.
Another big out, 2 down now. There's going to be a force at third, second, or first. So a pop fly or a ground ball that can end the inning and minimize the damage. Already 3 have crossed the plate for Notre Dame. So Shepherd going to have a little bit of a hole to dig out of when they come to bat. But this inning not over yet. We saw a little bit of a 2-out rally in the top of inning number 4. So Notre Dame is not afraid to swing the bats or take pitches and have quality at bats with 2 outs.
Yeah, they left the bases loaded in that 4th inning. Swinging away at the first pitch, Pascal sends one on the line into shallow center field, and Brenton Doyle coming in, diving, makes the grab right off the top of the grass to retire the side. Oh, what a play by Doyle, robbing Pascal of a base hit and possibly some runs driven in, and that play will bring the inning to a close. 3 runs do come home to score in the top of the 5th, and your score now from Fairfax Field is Notre Dame 6 and Shepherd 3.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
Let's go to the bottom half of inning number 5. The Shepherd Rams in need of runs. They trail 6-3 to Notre Dame. Checking in on softball. Finally got the stat cast up. And, hey, they are in the bottom of the 8th inning in game 1 of the doubleheader. Just up over the hill at Sarah Cree Field. And the University of Charleston plated a run in the top of the 8th inning to take a 2-1 lead. And now Shepherd coming to the plate, bottom of the 8th inning, trying to answer and get a walk-off win or at least force another extra inning. We are ready for action as Saeed Mahdi takes ball 1. That one down low out of the hand of Tyler Galt. 68 pitches now for him, 41 for strikes as he works to the opening batter in this 5th inning. Mahdi shows bunt, gets out of the way of a pitch inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Gotta like the versatility of a guy who hit a 2-run home run his last time up in the 3rd. Looking at the third baseman and going, I might lay a bunt down here. No bunt shown as he takes a pitch down in the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes.
Mahdi has some wheels on him. I know that from personal experience. Played against him in high school. And one of the fastest high school kids I've ever seen on the base paths. You can have speed, but in-game speed's a whole lot different.
3-0 finds the inside corner, 3 balls and 1 strike. Mahdi drew a walk back in the 1st inning, got stranded at first. We mentioned his home run in the 3rd. It was a 2-run blast that at the time tied it at 3. This pitch off the inside corner, and Mahdi on that 3-1 draws ball 4. So he walks for a 2nd time today. That is now 4 walks and 2 hit batters for Tyler Galt, but has managed to pitch around it and not give up a bunch of runs. Part of the reason the Rams have just 5 hits so far. The only 2 innings they scored, well, in the 1st inning where the run really scored thanks to a wild pitch, and then the 3rd inning where they got a couple of those hits back-to-back, including the 2-run home run. First pitch a strike to Daniel Keir. That's K-E-E-R. Nice bluff move over at first by Mahdi. Draws the attention of Galt, who spins and steps off the pitching rubber. Mahdi will stretch out that lead again. Farrell will hold him on there. Wind continuing to blow. There goes the runner. Pitch to the plate. Lifted in the air into left center field. It's a long run for the center fielder, and a diving grab is made by Rick Phillips, and heading back to first goes Saeed Mahdi.
And that is an amazing play by Phillips in center field, and such a tough play to make on the dive as he was coming to his forehand. The glove on his right arm being a lefty, and coming in and really having to come down on that elbow. So not a play that's going to be overly comfortable. A great job by Phillips, able to hang on to it and then work Mahdi back to first base.
It was sinking, but not quite fast enough. It hung long enough for Phillips to get there and make the diving grab. So 1 down with Mahdi at first. Hamill stands in. Christian Hamill takes high and tight for ball 1. Richards with that look down towards first, but not going to make the throw. Monty with the lead. He started towards the second and then turns and goes back to first. Galt with a soft toss over.
Yeah, he spun his tires over there at first base. Had to quickly switch his momentum and get back to the bag, which he did. Again, very quick speed over at first base.
Well, he's got a pretty good lead as the pitch this time works to the plate, low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And you know that's getting in the head of the pitcher right now. And you have a guy that's consistently bluffing and you know has the speed to get to second. That's going to be in your head.
Count at 2-0, and Hamill takes a strike on the inside corner. Talking with our plate umpire about that one. Hamill, the catcher for the Rams, so he knows that strike zone well, and especially how it's been called today. Runner on the move with a 2-1 pitch. It's down low, squirts through the legs of Richards and to the backstop, and Monty will get that stolen base without the benefit of a throw.
And they took a wide turn around second base, seeing where that baseball was. I think he was thinking that ball was deep enough, or if Richards hadn't got to it quick enough, he was going to try to swipe third as well.
Instead, it caromed virtually right back to him, allowing Richards to turn and make sure Monty did not go any further. Count now, though, at 3 balls and 1 strike. First base is open after the steal by Monty. 3-1 pitch, and at the knees for a called strike 2, and Hamill doesn't like that one either.
He hasn't liked either strike. He's turned and he hasn't said anything to the home plate umpire yet, but you can tell he's frustrated not seeing the same calls that he's getting behind the plate on the flip side of the inning.
Well, now he's got to focus as the 3-2 is on the way, and that one is low and outside. Is that ball 4?
Should be.
I was going to say, Hamill stood there, but the umpire didn't give him any indication to go, and eventually Hamill looks at the umpire who says take first base. I was thinking, I've got 3-2, scoreboard's got 3-2.
Which tells you what? In his head, he was worried about what those where those strikes were and how he wasn't getting, or the pitchers for Shepherd weren't getting those same calls. He wasn't 100% focused on the count, the situation in the game. At least that's what that tells me. As a former player, you worry about certain things and it takes away other things. I think that's a case where he just wasn't quite thinking about the at-bat, more of, okay, where's the strike zone and why is it inconsistent?
A pair of walks in the inning now for Galt. Runners at first and second with 1 away. Giovanni Torres to the plate. The right-hand batter swings and sends one just foul wide of the bag at third. Oh, boy.
That would have easily scored Monty from second base and would have moved Hamill to third base.
So they count 0-1 to Torres. Hit by a pitch in the second, a fly out to center in the third. Stands in awaiting that 0-1 pitch. Galt is ready. Here it comes, down low and outside. Count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 runs in the top half of the 5th inning for Notre Dame, breaking a 3-all tie. The Falcons lead 6-3, but Shepherd threatening now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch, taken for a strike. Torres looked at that one, started that swinging motion, but held up. Just kind of had that little hitch in his getting up, but never really let that swing fly. And now he's down in the count. It's a ball and 2 strikes. The runners stretching out their leads. Monty at second, Hamill at first. Farrell plays behind the runner at first with 2 on. A lot of time being taken by Tyler Galt. Staring in at Matt Richards, going through a series of signs, and eventually Torres asks for time and steps out.
A good job waiting until Galt came set. He said, if you're going to make me wait, 2 can play this game.
And that's it. A little cat and mouse game going on now with the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Torres awaits. The wind picks up a little bit with some of those gusts. It's been blowing hard all day. It's a ground ball towards third. Gobbling that one up. Garcia steps on third, throws to first, and they turn the double play. How do you like that?
It was a great play by third baseman Garcia, and then a great throw to Farrell over at first base, and he'll get the 5 unassisted, then the 5-3 double play. So not your conventional double play, but it does the job for Notre Dame.
So the Rams get a couple of walks in the inning. They have runners at first and second with just one away, but cannot take advantage. The double play ground ball will bring the inning to a close, and we'll go to the sixth inning when we come back with your score: Notre Dame 6 and Shepherd 3.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the horsemen.
Here we go to the top half of inning number 6. Out on the hill for the Rams, Adam Miller, going into his first full inning of relief as he came on to spell the starter Mitchell Wilson in that 5th inning. Wilson went 4+, giving up 6 runs on 9 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit batter. Miller, in coming in, faced 4 batters, did give up an RBI single, allowing 1 inherited runner to score, but then set down the next 3 that he faced. He'll face Rick Phillips to get this 6th inning started. Cleanup hitter in the order is 0 for 3, but has reached on an error. That came all the way back in his first at bat. Swings and sends this one foul and out of play down the right field line. Strike 1.
We had 14 pitches from Miller in that first inning. Again, his first inning in relief of Mitchell Wilson, today's starter.
Looks like some others down in the bullpen behind the left field fence for the Rams. Next pitch in there for a strike. Count at 0-2 to Phillips. We mentioned he reached on an error in the first. He struck out looking at an 0-2 pitch in the third, lined out to center in the fourth. Batting here to lead off the top of the 6th. Miller to the plate, and it's a bouncer foul in behind home plate. Count holds 0-2. Nick Farrell and Adam Purdy due next for Notre Dame. I mentioned earlier, Coach Barker would love to see a little more consistency. Give you an idea of how this season is kind of broken down for them as the fastball misses high to Phillips. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They started 0-4. Through their first 6 were 1-5. Then won 4 of their next 5 to get a game or within a game of 500 at 5-6. Miller ready, and the pitch. It's a ground ball towards third. Motti backs up on it, plays that chest high hop throw to first. Nice stretch by Nottingham at first, and they get the out by a half a step.
And you needed a strong throw by Saeed Motti. He had to take a half step back to play the bounce, and a very good job playing the bounce. And you just saw the rocket of a right arm from Saeed. And you mentioned it, a great stretch by Nottingham as well to make sure they got the runner, because that was a bang-bang play at first. A lot of times you see that tie going to the runner, but a great effort by both corners in the infield for Shepherd.
One away base is empty. Brings up Nick Farrell, and he will bounce the first pitch foul in behind the plate for strike 1. So after the slow start and then picking up 4 wins in 5 games, then came a stretch where Notre Dame lost 9 of their next 10. Went from a 5-6 record to being 7-15. Here comes the pitch to the plate, and that one down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. After that came another nice stretch where the team picked up 7 wins in 9 games, but then they turned around and lost 5 out of the next 6. So it's been really an up and down season for this Notre Dame team as Farrell fouls the 1-1 out of play down the right field line. A ball and 2 strikes. So, Coach Barker would like to see some consistency to close out the season with the 4-game set here. They'll have 4 coming next week as they're at Urbana for a pair on Friday and then host Urbana on Sunday. There's a called strike 3 as Farrell watches that 1-2. Down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and that's a couple of Ks now for Miller.
It was a great location. Had a little bit of movement on, a little bit of two-seam movement on, just kind of tailing back in at the last minute, and a great location that Farrell's not going to be able to do a whole lot with. So I thought a great job on the mound, a great pitch by Miller to get the second out of the inning.
So it brings up Adam Purdy, the left-hand batter, takes a called strike 1. Purdy does have a couple of hits already on the day. He singled and scored his last time up in the 5th. Prior to that, an RBI single in the 3rd. Collected his 12th run batted in on the year. Started the game in the 1st inning with a bouncer back to the pitcher. Bounces this one up the first base line, and the pitcher Miller is over near the line. He fields it, gives the underhand toss to Nottingham, and Purdy will bounce out. And Notre Dame goes in order in the top of the 6th. Moving to the bottom of the 6th inning when we come back to Fairfax Field with your score, Notre Dame 6 and Shepherd 3.
We only make home loans, so we better be good at it. And we are. It's that simple. With our focus solely on mortgage lending, you can come to us with peace of mind knowing that your mortgage loan is in good hands. As one of the nation's largest private lenders, our focus is on helping you get into your new home.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
It's a 6-3 lead for Notre Dame as Shepherd will come to the plate. Bottom half of inning number 6. Tyler Galt still out there, starting pitcher through 5 innings. We've got him at 84 pitches, 49 for strikes. Has given up the 3 runs on 5 base hits. He has struck out 4, has walked 5, and hit 2 batters. Put a managed to pitch around those free base runners. So Trenton Bergreen to get it started. Number 9 hitter in the order. Grounds it on the right side of the infield. Diving stop by the third baseman. Garcia to his feet. Throws and got him at first.
What a play by Garcia. Rolling. It wasn't just a dive and popping back up. He rolled completely over and had to make a pinpoint throw as Bergreen. Not a whole lot of speed coming out of that batter's box and gets beat by about a step and a half going down. You'd expect that to be more of a bang-bang play, but Bergreen, as he is a little frustrated going back to the dugout, and on 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 6 is Shepherd running out of outs to play with.
Back to the top of the order, Jared Carr takes a breaking pitch on that outside corner for a strike. Carr 1 for 2, a single and a run scored in the first. Struck out to swinging in the second. Swings and lines this one over the head of the second baseman. That one's into right center field for a hit. Thompson cuts it off, and the right fielder quickly gets it in. Overshoots the cutoff, but there is Santoro, the shortstop, backing up the play, making sure that Carr stays at first.
Lucas Thompson in right field made that play look a lot easier than it actually was. A lot of right fielders don't have the speed to cut that off like he did with the backhanded stab. That's a double roll into the wall for a lot of people in this league, and maybe even a triple, depending on the speed. For Carr, that may have been a triple. A great play in right field to hold that to just a single.
Brings up Brenton Doyle. He'll swing, pop this one foul out of play first base side. 0-1 to the Rams starting center fielder, looking for his first hit today. 0 for 3. Has put it in the air all 3 times up. A pair of flyouts to right. His last time up, a line out to center. He awaits the 0-1. Galt peers over his shoulder at the runner at first. Delivers an off-speed pitch that misses high. Snap throw in behind the runner at first off the mark as Carr went back in on the dive.
For a guy who hasn't had a whole lot of success throwing behind runners or even throwing accurately, Richards is not afraid to pop up and throw behind a runner. He's already allowed a couple of extra bases on throws, but not afraid.
Big swing and a miss at the 1-1 for Brenton Doyle. Carr doesn't have a real big lead right now at first as Farrell holds him on. Carr did have a stolen base back in that first inning. Right now down by 3 runs with 1 out, and Doyle at the plate. And Smith to follow. You don't want to run yourself out of an inning. Can't imagine why he would be going anywhere as Doyle takes high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Galt from the stretch comes set again. Peers at the runner at first, delivers to the plate, and the breaking pitch is a called strike 3.
Well, you heard Christian Hamill not barking about it, but you could tell body language-wise that he was questioning the strike zone on both sides. And I think that's another case. I mean, you've seen that pitch called a strike periodically, but it hasn't been consistent all day. And I think Brenton Doyle will tell you the same thing as he's back in the dugout now, 0 for 4 on the day.
Strikeout number 5 for Galt, and he'll go to work on Justin Smith, and he will swing and foul tip it. Hung on to by Richards. Big swing at a breaking pitch. Count 0-1. Smith has walked, has struck out, has bounced out to second. A runner at first with 2 away, and the pitch grounded on that right side of the infield past the second baseman. Miley ranging over to his right, couldn't get to it. Center fielder's on it quickly, fires through to third, and with that throw to third, heads up base running by Smith as he'll take second base.
Heads up base running by Carr as well. He knew that with 2 outs he could go on the metal contact of the bat, and that's just what he did, going from first to third on a base hit. And you mentioned it, Smith realizing that throw, even though it was a good cutoff by Garcia moving up inside the baseline. And it was good heads-up base running by Justin Smith. So we'll see if Shepherd has some 2-out magic. They needed is only 4 outs to play with now, 2 down here in the bottom of inning number 6. A game scheduled to go 7, game 1 of this doubleheader. We'll bring you both here today on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Brings up Eddie Nottingham. He'll take a pitch down in the dirt, blocked nicely by Richards, keeps it around him, and holds those runners. Count a ball and no strikes to Nottingham. Shepherd needs that big hit. They got the 2-run home run in the third from Motti that tied it then. Now got to have a clutch 2-out hit here as they're down by 3. Fastball in there for a strike. 1-1 now to Nottingham.
And Nottingham, he struck out in the first and then got that strange double back in the third where he towered one that ended up falling in the infield. He's been underneath everything so far today. Got to find a more level swing as he takes this one low and away for ball 2.
Yeah, last time up a pop out to the second baseman. That ended the 4th inning. Count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Good eye to lay off that last pitch. Galt to the plate, and it's a bouncing ball to the third baseman. Garcia has it, and that throw to first in time to get him. So Nottingham will bounce out 5-3, and the Rams will leave 2 more runners on base and both in scoring position. We'll head to inning number 7, final inning of regulation, when we come back with your score still Notre Dame 6 and Shepherd 3.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, it certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
Your storyline through 6 here in game 1 for Notre Dame. 6 runs on 10 hits, 1 error. They've left 9, 6 in scoring position. Shepherd has put 3 runs on the board on 7 hits. They've committed a pair of errors, stranding 10 base runners, and 7 have been left in scoring position. A home run for Saeed Mahdi for the Rams back in that third inning. That tied it at 3, but Notre Dame put 3 on the board in the top half of the 5th inning, and that is the difference right now as we go to the 7th and final inning of regulation. And back with your play-by-play, here's Matt Crawford.
Leading it off will be Lucas Thompson, number 7 hitter, today's right fielder for Notre Dame. Steps in. Shepherd only 3 outs to play with when they get to the bottom of inning number 7. It is Adam Miller still out on the mound in relief of today's starter, Mitchell Wilson. First pitch to Thompson, a swing and a miss as that front shoulder came out. Head along with it. Now behind on the count 0-1.
And you look ahead to the bottom of the 7th for Shepherd. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters will be Dew, Mahdi, Keir, and then Hamill.
A little bit off the plate, but a strike. Now behind on the count 0-2 is Thompson. Thompson on the day. A couple of singles, a strikeout. Also scored a run back in that 3-run 5th. As he gets ready for the 0-2, that one bounces in front of the plate, catches the shoulder of Christian Hamill. Nobody on. No harm, no foul, and the ball getting by the catcher. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A big inning. Got to make sure you don't let the deficit grow any larger.
Here comes that 1-2 for Miller. A fastball driven into right field. Moving over on it is Carr. Just in fair territory. Will bring it in for out number 1. A good job by Carr reading the wind, which had died down momentarily, making that one easier to go get for out number 1. It'll bring up Najee Garcia.
Ranging over towards the Notre Dame bullpen, and they've got some action in the pen down the right field line. So we'll see if Galt comes back out to try to close it out. We had him at 98 pitches, 59 for strikes through 6 innings.
Najee Garcia steps in, the right-handed batter. Dribbles one foul down the third baseline for the first strike of the at-bat. A 2 RBI single back in the 5th. So 1 for 2 on the day so far as he had a sacrifice back in inning number 2.
He's had a good game. Played very, very well defensively. And then, as you mentioned, 1 for 2 with the sac bunt. He's done what they've needed him to at the plate.
That 0-1, a swing and got a little piece of it, did Garcia, but held on to behind the plate by Christian Hamill. So now Miller done a very good job in this inning getting ahead of batters. Another 0-2 set to be delivered. This one to Garcia. Here comes that 0-2 and a sharp hit ball, but foul down the third baseline. And Garcia lives to see another pitch.
Since giving up the single to Richards, the first batter that Miller faced when he came in relief of Mitchell Wilson in that 5th inning, he set down 7 in a row.
Here comes the 0-2 again to Garcia. That one lifted into left field. Justin Smith working over on it, and that one will bounce off the wall. Smith will get it in, and that'll be a long single. Not able to get the double is Najee Garcia. I don't know if he thought that one was gone off the bat. There is no reason he should still be standing at first base on a ball that bounced off the wall. It was a great job by Justin Smith getting it in, but just getting to first base and rounding it was Najee Garcia. The only thing I could think of is he thought that was gone off the bat.
I was watching the ball and didn't really see how he went down that first base line. But it's a break for the Rams to have the runner at first.
Ball 1 to Matt Richards high and inside, and it's one of the longest singles you will ever see. That's a late in his career Vlad Guerrero single. Here comes that 1-0 again, high and inside, ball 2. To the number 9 batter in the order, Matt Richards. Zach Santoro standing on deck. Double play in effect right now, with Garcia only get a single on that hit. Going behind the mound is Wilson to make that Miller to collect himself.
Richards had an RBI single in that 5th inning. How about the production out of the bottom of the order? 5 hits have come from the 7, 8, and 9 hitters.
Out of the stretch, here comes that 2-0. That one a strike with a fastball right down the middle. A 4-strike-1. Now 2 balls, 1 strike to Matt Richards.
Matt, by the way, we talked earlier about the softball team being in action, and in the 8th inning, they fell 2-1 in 8 innings in Game 1 against Charleston.
That 2-0 low and away. Now the count 3 balls, 1 strike to Matt Richards. You'd hate to put 2 runners on with just 1 out in the inning, with one of those runners being in scoring position. Now here comes that 3-1, a swing, and that one fouled off right behind our broadcast position. The count now full, 3-2.
A good pitch. Now he's got to come after him. Let's see how he attacks that number 9 hitter.
So far on the day, 1 for 3 is Matt Richards. He's hoping to either keep it at 1 for 3 with a walk or 2 for 4 with a single. Check back over to first, back in safe is Najee Garcia. Not a big lead, is able to take about 2 steps back and get back to first standing up. Eddie Nottingham tosses back to first, or tosses back to the mound from first, and once again we'll get that 3-2. Here's that payoff pitch, and a swing and a miss, a big strikeout for Adam Miller. Now 2 down in the inning. And a big strikeout, as we have that as strikeout number 2 so far in relief for Adam Miller. And
make it 3.
Make that strikeout number 3.
Had 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Gets this
Correct,
one now
you
in the
are.
7th. And what a nice pitch, right in on the hands of Richards. He seemed very late on that swing, almost as though he didn't want to swing, but realized, that's going to be close enough, and couldn't make any contact.
The first pitch to Santero, lifted into right field. That one is going to bounce off the wall, but foul. You can see Jared Carr having trouble reading that one in the air with the wind blowing again now from left to right. It's swirling here at Fairfax Field. Changes from coming directly towards home plate, and which it's doing now, but just a few seconds ago blowing towards right, and that one fouled by about 1.5 feet as it hit off the old fence right underneath the championship. I guess you would call that banner out there, the big banner that gives the Mountain East Conference championships, or the old WV Conference championships. So a strike 1 to Santero.
The WVIAC championships.
Ready with that 0-1, a foul. Just getting a piece of it is Santero. Goes right back to the backstop, and he's now behind the count 0-2.
Chance now for Miller to get out of the inning. No damage done. Let's get the offense in there and see if the Rams can mount a rally.
Shepherd will need, at this point, 3 to keep playing in the bottom of inning number 7. 4 would be in walk-off fashion. Miller comes set, ready for the 0-2. Here's that 0-2, a swing, and a ball fouled off, and living to see another pitch is Santero.
Well, the Ram offense going through a little bit of a tough time. They suffered that 3-1 setback at Millersville in the middle portion of the week. That snapped what had been a 10-game Ram winning streak. What a matchup that was. 2 of the top teams in the Atlantic region.
Miller again out of the stretch, ready for that 0-2. The 0-2 again. This one a swing and a miss in the dirt. It gets by Hamill. He's going to have to make a dart throw. He does down to Nottingham, who can't hold on to it, so safe on the throw will be Santero. And I think that ball going behind the runner, Santero, going up the line, so Nottingham couldn't get a good read on it, hit him in the glove, and it just bounced out. 2 runners on the strikeout, and the error at third base holding on to, or first base for Nottingham.
Tough play all the way around. A good pitch by Miller. You get the strikeout that could have ended the inning. Hamill has to track that one down all the way at the backstop and then make that throw to first, and Nottingham just couldn't hang on to it. And now, if you're Miller, you've got more work to do.
Brings up Corey Miley in the number 2 spot today. The first pitch to Miley, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Miley on the day grounded into a fielder's choice in the first inning. A ground ball to the shortstop in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, and then a fly ball to left field in inning number 5. So right now just 0 for 3 on the day, but this is his 5th at-bat. Stands in awaiting that 0-1, and here comes that 0-1. That one misses inside for ball 1.
A big spot here for the freshman. He's had a very solid game as well at second. Just put the ball in play each time, except for the time that he walked. He showed a good eye at the plate. Just wants to put it in play and try to make something happen here.
And the pitcher Miller, a swing and a miss on a ball that was out of the zone, and a good pitch by Adam Miller on the mound to get Miley to chase. Now Miller ahead in the count 1-2.
Well, that's the place you want to go again. You know, the umpire's been given that outside part of the plate. You got Miley to chase one out there. Even if he doesn't chase, maybe you get the call. Let's see if Miller will work back out there again.
2 outs here, and Miller will check back to second base. Working Garcia back. Najee Garcia able to get back in relatively quickly, not even a throw warranted. 2 outs here, a 1-2 count to the batter, Corey Miley. Notre Dame leads Shepherd in the first game of this doubleheader at Fairfax Field 6-3. Now the 1-2 pitch to Miley. That one fouled off behind home plate and out of play.
Good job by Miley. Tough pitch to handle. He was able to keep the bat back, waste that one. Now we'll step back in and see if he can find a pitch that he can put in play.
Out of the stretch will be Miller. Gets the pitch he wants from Hamill and comes set. Here comes that 1-2 delivery. That one, a flare down the first base line. Nottingham not able to get to it. Sliding almost into the fence. Efforting to make that play, but just a little too far out in front of him. And once again, Corey Miley able to fight off a pitch and live to see another one.
Yeah, that one right in on his hands. Muscled it over towards out of play territory. And, man, what an effort from Nottingham.
For this Shepherd defense, the third out has been awfully hard to get in this game. And you look back to the fourth inning, that third out was hard to get. The fifth inning, almost as hard. First two haven't come necessarily easy, but a lot easier than getting that elusive third. Again, that 1-2 with 2 outs. This one, a chopper to Trenton Bergreen at shortstop. He comes up with it, a fire over to first base, and got him at first as Nottingham stretches out and makes the play at first base. So a great at-bat for Corey Miley. We have that as seeing 6 pitches in that at-bat, and a great job by Trenton Bergreen at shortstop, able to charge in on a chopper and make a great throw over to first base to end the inning. We will head to the bottom of inning number 7. Shepherd needs 3 to keep playing. 4 will be a walk-off. Right now it's Notre Dame 3, Notre Dame 6, Shepherd 3. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
The bottom of inning number 7, game 1 of a doubleheader here at Fairfax Field in Shepherdstown. Shepherd's going to need 3 if they want to take this one to extras. They find themselves down 6-3 to the visiting Notre Dame Falcons. Notre Dame scoreless in the top of inning number 7. The big inning for Notre Dame came in the top of the 5th when they played at 3, and that is our difference in this one. For Notre Dame, it was 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and then 3 in the 5th. For Shepherd, it was 1 in the first. They tied it up at 3 in the bottom of the third on a 2-run home run by the man at the plate right now, Saeed Mahdi, and haven't been able to play to run since. Here comes that first pitch to Mahdi. That one a little low and away for ball 1. Looks like we have a new pitcher on the mound. It'll be Todd Marshall now pitching for Notre Dame, as Marshall misses high and outside on the second pitch to Mahdi.
He's a hard thrower, big right-hander, 6'1", 200 pounds, a junior out of Windsor High School in Barnhart, Missouri.
That one low and away for ball 3, so right now Marshall having some problems finding the strike zone in a big appearance for him.
Marshall on this season does have 3 wins, 3 losses, and 4 saves.
At 3-0. The old automatic right down the middle for strike 1.
He's got a 3.24 earned run average, has worked 33 in the 3rd innings, giving up 14 runs, 12 earned on 24 hits.
At 3-1, a big swing and a miss by Motti. The count now runs full at 3-2.
Pretty good strikeout pitcher. 50 Ks in the 33 and the third innings, but has also issued 26 walks.
Here comes that 3-2 pitch, and that one fouled off at home plate, and Saeed Mahdi's going to live to see another one. Good job just staying alive at the plate in a big situation for the Rams.
14th appearance for Marshall this season. He has made just one start.
Here comes that 3-2 again. Again, just fouled off by Saeed Mahdi, doing everything he can to fight off and wait for a pitch that he wants.
Yeah, that one ticking off the catcher's mitt of Richards. If he's able to hang on, that goes down as a strikeout. So the Rams catch a little bit of a break.
Again, ready for that 3-2 is Todd Marshall. Here it comes, and this one low and inside. Ball 4.
3 times today, Mahdi has drawn the base on balls. The only time he's put it in play was the big 2-run home run.
So a great 8-pitch at-bat for Saeed Mahdi, and the Rams get with a lead, and that is a leadoff base runner. For Tyler Galt, he went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, had 5 strikeouts, walked 5, and also plunked a couple of batters. Gave way to Todd Marshall, whose first pitch to Daniel Keir misses low for ball 1. So right now, Marshall is not finding the strike zone consistently. Mahdi taking a decent lead off first base. The second pitch to Keir, that one a strike on the outside edge, just a hair off the plate, but the last couple innings been a little more consistent on what that outer edge of the strike zone is.
Keir almost had himself a hit his last time up.
Breaking ball, it's going to find the inside edge. A great looping breaking ball by Marshall, and nothing Keir can do with that one. Is that had a routine fly ball written all over it if he's taking a hack at that one. It's now behind on the count 1-2. Ball that didn't move until very late, didn't break. As again, that 1-2, that one fouled off down the first base line as Keir just able to catch up to that fastball.
Yeah, just make contact, live to see another pitch in that case.
The way that came off the bat, you could tell that he was about as late as you could be and still make contact on a ball that had him a little jammed. So again, it'll be the 1-2 from Todd Marshall. Saeed on the move, and he will be safe at second, but a strikeout at the plate for Daniel Keir. So tried for the strike him out, throw him out. Matt Richards at the plate just couldn't get the ball to second quick enough.
Yeah, that pitch was up, so a pretty good pitch for Richards to be able to throw on, but Mahdi really got a good jump. You could tell as he was stretching out that lead that he was intending to go, and he did. He now has 7 stolen bases in 10 attempts on the season.
That brings up Christian Hamill with 1 down here in the bottom of inning number 7. Saeed Mahdi standing on second. First pitch to Hamill, low and away, bounces out of the glove of Richards, but is able to run it down to keep Mahdi at second.
I should stand corrected and make it 8 of 11. Forgot to look back to the fact that Mahdi had a steal back in the 5th inning when he reached on a walk. Shepard's been aggressive on the base pass, and you would expect that. That's the nature of the game for Coach Matt McCarty.
Hamill stands in, awaiting that 1-0. That one low in the dirt. Another good block by Richards. Now Hamill heading the count 2-0. Looking at Hamill on the day so far. Had a double back in the 3rd. And drew a walk back in inning number 5. So far on the day, just 1 for 2. This one lifted high and out of play behind home plate. A 2-1. Bottom of inning number 7 here at Fairfax Field. Again, we'll have both games of the doubleheader after this one is over, about a half hour, 40 minutes. We will take a brief break in between and then be back for our pregame for the next game. The 2-1 misses inside, ball 3.
I got to have base runners right now. Down by 3, you've got a runner in scoring position at second. That run's a big one. Any run's big right now, but it's not enough. So Hamill can get on however it takes.
A hitter's count here, 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the delivery. That one just on the outer edge of the zone. And Hamill was getting ready to toss that bat aside, as he cannot believe what that strike zone is with him at the plate as opposed to him behind the plate.
He has a second conversation with our plate umpire. Remember, he had a brief conversation after a strike call on his last at-bat.
Count now runs full to Christian Hamill. This one jammed on him, but it sends back up the middle. Coming up with it is Santoro. Over to first for the second out of the inning. Saeed Mahdi moves up to third.
And the out will go 6-3. At least he advances the base runner. But he's clearly frustrated, and has another word it looked like for the umpire as he went by.
Yeah, pitch that jammed him. Not a whole lot of ball speed coming off the bat, and a great play by Zach Santoro to charge in on it and make the play at first.
It'll bring to the plate Torres, and got to keep it going here.
2 down now here in the bottom of inning number 7. Giovanni Torres, a swing and a slow hit ball, but gobbled up by third baseman Garcia. Over to first, and that'll do it. A 4-out number 3. The final out will go Garcia from third over to Farrell at first. It'll be a 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th for out number 3 to end this one. The final score here in Game 1 of the doubleheader at Fairfax Field. It's Notre Dame 6 and Shepherd 3. We're going to take a 1.5-minute break, and when we come back, we will wrap up this one, take a look at the numbers, and then set you up for game number 2. Take a brief break, and then come back for the second game of this doubleheader. All that coming up next. This is Shepherd Ram Baseball on TV 10.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Whisk. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
A final in this one of the first game of the doubleheader was Notre Dame 6, Shepherd 3, and Matt Shepherd really just never seemed to get in a rhythm offensively.
No, not at all in this one. I mean, they do end up with 7 hits, but really only able to bunch them together with 3 in that 3rd inning, where you had the wind-aided double followed by the 2-run home run by Saeed Mahdi. Later with 2 outs, a double from Christian Hamill, but you still only got the 2 runs that came on the home run. They put 2 hits together in that 6th inning. They had a single with 1 out and then another single with 2 outs, but again, could not get those runners across. Outside of that, just a single hit in each of the 1st inning and the 4th inning. And then when you look at it, they had opportunities but just could not take advantages. They're going to strand 11 base runners and left 8 of them in scoring position.
And Notre Dame is not going to be a power-hitting team, so you look at just the way this game is going to have to play out with the wind, although I guess Saeed Mahdi would beg to differ of hitting the home run to left field. But this is going to be a small ball kind of game, and Notre Dame did what they had to do. Looking at their numbers, 10 hits is what we have for them. 11 hits for them is what we have for them, and just they did what they needed to do. They moved runners around and had a 5th inning that really was the difference in this ball game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That fifth inning when they were able to get the first 5 batters to reach. Nick Farrell drew the walk. Andy Purdy followed with a single. Lucas Thompson was going to sacrifice him along, but he pushed a perfect bunt down the third base line, reached on that bunt base hit, and with the bases loaded and nobody out, Najee Garcia out of the number 8 spot delivered a 2 RBI single, and Matt Richards out of the number 9 spot delivered an RBI single. Those 3 runs, the difference in the game.
All right, let's take one final break, and when we come back, we'll give you some individual numbers and then set you up for Game 2 of the doubleheader. All that coming up next in the postgame show. Again, the final from Game 1, it was Notre Dame 6, Shepherd 3. This is Shepherd Rant Baseball on TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Welcome back into Fairfax Field. We're going to close out this game, then take a 10-15 minute break and set up for game number 2, which should be starting a little bit after the scheduled first pitch time. The scheduled first pitch time was right about now, so we'll hope to start that game right at about 3:45 to 4 o'clock, somewhere in that range. Don't go anywhere. We got 7 more innings of baseball coming up next. First, we got to round out this one. Pitching-wise, let's start with the visiting Notre Dame Falcons. On the mound for them, it was Tyler Galt, who went almost the complete distance, 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, had 5 strikeouts, walked 5, and plunked a couple. Todd Marshall came in and got the save. In 1 inning of work, he had 1 strikeout. Offensively, not a whole lot of guys going to jump off the page at you, but just guys that worked around. Some big numbers for you in the leadoff spot. It was Santera. He went 2 for 5, would come around to score a run, but also had 3 strikeouts on the day. Looking down the list, scoring 2 runs was Joe Pascal. He had a single and would come around to score in the first, would reach on an error, and then come around to score in the third. A single in the third inning. For Nick Farrell, he would also come around to score after walking in that 5th inning. A good day for Adam Purdy. He had 2 singles and an RBI. Would also come around to score a run. A bunt single to come around and score a run in the 5th. Also added a single in the 2nd was Lucas Thompson. He went 2 for 4 on the day. And then a 2 RBI single for Najee Garcia. He would finish the day 2 for 3 after a sacrifice in the 2nd. And Matt, you mentioned the 8 and 9 hitters really did what they needed to do today. An RBI single as well for Matt Richards in the number 9 spot in that big 5th inning.
Yeah, that 5th inning, it was the bottom of the order that really did the damage. Your 5, 6 guys got on to get it started. The number 7 guy laying down a sacrifice reaches on the bunt hit, and then your 8 and 9 guys get the 3 runs driven in that proved to be the difference in the game. I mean, you got to love it if you're Len Barker. You get a solid outing on the hill from Tyler Galt, a guy coming in with a 5-4 record, and you get production out of the bottom of your order that proves to be the difference.
For Shepherd, pitching-wise, Mitchell Wilson got the start. He went 4+, but then struggled to find the zone and struggled to get guys out in that 5th inning. He went 4+ innings, gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, struck out 3, walked 2, also plunked a batter. He was relieved by Adam Miller, who I thought pitched very well. He went 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, and struck out 4. Did not allow a free base runner via the walk. Batting-wise, for Shepherd, Jared Carr had a good day in that leadoff spot. He went 2 for 3, also had a walk, came around to score a run. A off day for Brenton Doyle. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout, Justice Smith 1 for 3 with a walk, and then just a couple hits down the line for everybody else. The player of the game for Shepherd was Saeed Mahdi, who delivered the majority of the offense. It was that 2-run home run in the third. He went overall 1 for 1 on the day with that home run. Also walked, reached on a walk 3 different times, so 1 for 1 with 3 walks for Mahdi. Christian Hamill went 1 for 3 with a walk, and then 1 for 2 in the bottom of the order for Trenton Bergreen. He got hit by a pitch and went 1 for 2 at the plate. So final numbers look like this. 6 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, and 11 left on for Notre Dame. 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, and 11 runners left on for Shepherd. Time of the game, 2 hours and 16 minutes. All right, that's going to do it for Game 1 of this doubleheader. We're going to take a 10 to 15-minute break, then come back and set you up for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 or 15 with more Shepherd Ram baseball. Again, the final from Game 1. It was Notre Dame 6 and Shepherd 3.